I just used the shrug.
Alright, we're live. Hey everybody in the chat. There's nobody in the chat, so we might as well wait to do this.
Are we on Hitbox or Twitch?
We're on Twitch.
We're on Twitch right now.
Right now we're waiting. This is the waiting for people to actually be in here. There's no point in
Bedtime
starting.
stories number 0. Let me listen back on it.
The music stopped again. Is it not set to loop? I'm using the default Windows 10 music player, and that's a huge mistake.
VLC for life, motherfucker.
God damn it.
Music? Okay. I should use the Steam music player.
Oh god.
How do I loop it? Turn repeat on. Okay, there we go. Now repeat is on.
Audio sounds good though.
Audio sounds good? Alright, we're good to go then on that
You
front.
said lower, Vet said lower Skype a tiny bit.
Lower Skype a tiny bit? Alright, I will lower them a tiny bit. Now they're lowered a tiny bit.
Yeah, we're right here. Yo, Max, that would be good for the layout.
What?
I don't know, there was like a little flap to say who's in.
Nah. That's too much. It's a simple little thing. There we go.
It's a dibbly-do.
Work on that some other time.
That'll be cut out. I'll be cut out in post.
Cut it out, boy.
We'll fix it in post.
Fuck.
Start puffing, boy.
Fucking goddamn it.
This shit does not loop. You lied to me.
They lied.
Musicloops.com.
It should loop, but it's not cut properly.
This is the pre-show.
So it's not. Yeah, this is the pre-show for Bedtime Stories. Brand new podcast from all your favorites, all your best
Your
buddy
boys.
pals, all your
Your
boys.
homies right now.
Right now, for everybody coming in, the people we got in here right now are myself, Max. We have Aphex, the arcade. We have Pop Chronalton. We got the Rave Raptor. We got everyone's fan favorite, Druox the Shredder. And we have Tess Smarty.
The meme train himself, the
I'm
Smarty.
not the meme train. We agreed on no memes.
The meme train weeaboo master himself, Tess Smarty.
Okay, listen. Just because you get gifted a copy of Honey Pop does not make you
Giving
weeb
us
trash.
his
Because you
Honey
played-
Pop review
You played it.
right here live on stream.
Hey, everybody.
Listen, we watched all of Evangelion together. I still can't name half the characters.
That just means you're a weeb that doesn't pay attention. That's worse.
You're
All
just
I
a
remember was
turkey.
someone jerking off on someone at one point, and I was like, "What the fuck?"
Man.
That was very
Yeah, we should probably talk about that. We all
We'll reach that at some point.
wait.
We'll
That's
reach it
gonna have to be the
eventually.
gang reviews Evangelion or reviews in anime.
So right now we got around, how many people do we got in here? It says
We
8
got-
for me.
We got 8 right now. We probably updated it a little good.
Alright, now it says 14.
Oh, let's go up to 14. Yeah,
Alright,
so
that's
it's,
cool.
we're giving people an opportunity just to jump in and everything.
So right now, I'd say there's no reason to introduce ourselves right now. Maybe on episode 1 we'll do that.
Give them a
but-
gist of like what the idea of the podcast is. I guess we can do that.
Basically, what we're doing here is those times when we put the waiting screen up and one of us leaves and the rest of us shoot the shit in the Skype call waiting for the other person to get back. Basically, now there's a whole podcast just for that.
Yep.
We're just gonna be shooting this shit in here. It's not about anything in particular. We're gonna have, I mean, there's gonna be some topics sometimes, but it's not gonna be super structured.
Yeah.
But we're gonna try and have as much to talk about as possible. Right now, this is the trial run. This is our little...
This is alpha testing or beta testing. If you
Yeah.
will.
Yeah, this is our practice. This is so we can get feedback, see what works, see what doesn't, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah, like basically, like we'll start off with something, and then like you'll just start branching off from there, in like in an hour and a half at most, maybe.
We're also going to be
Depending.
starting sooner next time, probably
Yeah.
around 11 and going until 12:30.
When it's actually
Yeah.
time to go to bed.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
basically.
So then you're like,
Bedtime
well,
stories.
guys, as we always do, it's time to go to bed.
And then then you hear click and the screen turns off and the stream ends.
So yeah, so basically, yeah, like, we'll be starting
Oh,
a little bit earlier, and we'll have like a set day. Not only that, like rather than just start randomly throughout the week, we'll have like a set day, so it gives everyone basically like a time for them to anticipate when it is and all that stuff. So we're not
Hopefully
just, like,
it'll be weekly or something like that.
Yeah, like this is what we're planning on doing. We're planning on making it like a weekly type thing. But like right now we're doing like we said, this is basically like I guess like a pilot type thing, like basically just to get like feedback, what you guys think, and see how you guys enjoy from there. And yeah, and are we doing a SoundCloud thing just in case people missed it?
SoundCloud is a bitch to deal with because
well,
like you can only have a certain amount of hours.
We're probably going to find some kind of podcasting service to have this available on, and then we're gonna try. I'm saying I'll make a YouTube account specifically for this. Where just the whole thing will be uploaded and you can listen to it on there. It'll have links to the stream and our stuff and download links and all that. And it'll just be on a video. But that'd
be cool. And maybe we can one day integrate like webcams and shit and be like,
no,
yo, reaction shots.
Remember our agreement, Smarty? Never any webcams. Like the specific thing that
Did we
said.
actually discuss this?
100%
we did.
with you.
I absolutely.
No
Okay,
webcams.
I should probably put it out there. I have a terrible short-term memory.
And long-term memory.
Long-term is fine for some reason.
I don't believe you.
My medical shit has fucked with my short-term memory. So.
You know, you say that, but we're having trouble believing it.
Did I say that? No, I'm kidding.
All right, so here we go. Let's just kick this off. Enough talking about the podcast. Let's just talk on the podcast. The end of the week, Thursday night, technically Friday morning. What's everybody been up to this week? We're gonna go in a very nice and orderly fashion.
I'll go last.
Okay, so let's.
Drew has some shit to talk about.
All right, let's go. We'll start with Smarty. What's Smarty been up to?
Just really, my days are basically all the same. I work on videos and shit for the most part.
Well, what have you been working on? Come on, give us something to work
on. It's really like Skyrim Saturdays, and then other than that, just like anything that I record, I'm like, all right, I'll cut up into something. But recently, other than that, just been working on Artsy Ghost and stuff like that since I wanted to work. I wanted to try and make that a thing.
All right.
Artsy Ghost is just like a, long story short, it's like a thing where I want to kind of do more live actiony, podcasty stuff on that. Like stuff that you wouldn't see on my actual channel, just something that I could do as an aside, and it would be like I could post whatever the fuck I want on here, and like not have to worry about anything. That's really what it is.
Right, nice. Popcorn, what have you been up to?
Lately, just playing some games, getting some.
All right, next up. No, no, I'm kidding.
Rude.
Like what kind of shit you been playing? We can get into specifics here.
Well, lately it's been a lot of GTA 5, Rocket League, and then some Sims 4.
Nice.
And Heroes of the Storm, because
always
my latest addiction.
I love, by the way, just every time I pop into the call, like we have the go to bed chat is basically just hub for just talking and shit, and we have like I'll come in and I'll see like 3 of you guys playing Heroes of the Storm, and I just hear the reactions. Like last night, just there's Drew just talking. It's like, you gotta get the mana. Come on, cheat. Help! Help!
That's what happens all the time when we play Heroes. Some type of shit happens when we're playing Heroes, but oh man,
So fun.
Freaking who wants to go next? So I guess I'll go next on what I've been up to. Oh boy. Well, what I've been up to, aside from recording with Gom and Smarty and a few others, is that I got fired from my job.
What?
Surprise guest Nelson. That's the other thing is, I mean, we didn't make another call for this one today, but next time we'll have that so we can control it more. Well, now you're part of it. Welcome.
Welcome. So I got fired from my job basically, and over some stupid shit. I don't know if you guys want me to elaborate on some of these reasons.
Elaborate.
You're free from them. You can totally elaborate.
So this is gonna be quite the doozy for you guys. Basically, what happened was that me and a coworker, we got laid off basically, and my boss called me on Monday to let me basically break the news to me. But beforehand, this past month and a half, he was like reducing my hours, but from 5 days a week to like 3, and then eventually to like 2 days a week. So it was just like, all right. And then last week he was just like, oh, you got the rest of the week off. I'll call you. And basically he just wrote in the text, I'll call you next week. When he called me, that's when he basically wrote the news. And the thing is, what happened was that he had these assumptions because with my coworker, his son just came back from Dominican Republic. He just got his papers and everything, so he wants to spend time with him, be a father with his son. That's not bad, right? So he would take some weekends off, and my boss understood about this whole YouTube thing that I do. He knew that I was going away to conventions and everything, so that was never an issue. But from what I found out was that apparently he had this assumption that me and my coworker were gonna like stay wherever we decide to visit, basically. So the RTX trip, yeah, the RTX trip that's happening, he assumed that, you know, he was like, oh, I don't know if you know for sure that if you're gonna come back from it though. It's like, what?
Because everyone wants to live in Texas, right?
Question.
Yeah.
What is in Texas for you right now?
RTX.
No, aside from RTX.
Nothing.
What is in Texas? There you go.
Nothing.
There's a problem with that assumption.
Yeah, like I didn't understand that. I was like, really? And there were some other things also. Like the other thing that he told me was that apparently I got stuck on some service repairs, but I would still complete the repair though. Yeah, like there are certain repairs that happen where if I haven't done the thing in like a year, so that's understandable. I might be slow at the start, but I'll get it done within the hour still. So but that's why I called him out. I was like, dude, you're not even up to date on the new shit that we have to deal with, because there's like a lot of newer machines that are a lot more tech savvy now. They're basically like computers. They have like these control boards and shit like that now. And he always sends me to do them. So for him to call me out on that was like, oh, I'm like, you're the same way, because every time you got stuck on these machines, who was the one that had to bail you out? You call me and send me over there when I'm on the other side of New York. It's like, come on. So it's pretty dumb. My boss is he fired me on the phone because he said he was afraid of confrontations. So
well, worst case, it could have been if he texted you and said, "Hey, by the way, you're fired."
Oh no, I'm gonna fight it. Also
because the channel awesome. So
okay, well, no, I quit that. I quit.
All right.
That's a different story.
Oh, but there's the thing. I'm getting my last paycheck because he didn't send me my fucking paycheck for 4th of July, and that's a paid holiday. So I'm gonna fight.
You gotta be like, get that or or sue the shit out of his ass.
Yeah.
you're also eligible for unemployment. So
yeah, that too. Like
that's so stupid though. That is the dumbest reason for firing someone I have ever heard.
You're gonna do video game things. You're probably going to live there.
You're gonna live.
Oh no, but he laid off my coworker too, because he had the assumption that my coworker might visit these places with his son and never come back. So it's like I haven't heard from my coworker. I haven't texted him or anything. But
they're escaping.
I feel bad for my coworker though, because he has a son now, dude. And it's just like, come on, like for us to be laid off to be replaced by two younger guys nonetheless, who's only had 2-3 months of experience with us so far, compared to me, I've been working for 3 years, and compared to my coworker, who've been working for 6 years. It's like, dude, you basically started all over again when you know that we were getting busy.
Right.
So
wait, you're saying he didn't trust a guy that's been working for him for 6 years?
Yeah, that's what I didn't understand.
Well,
That's what blew my mind.
I mean, the bright side is in the field that you like work in, there's always gonna be a job, so you could probably find another spot easily.
Oh yeah, I mean, my brother basically put in a good word for me in some shop that's literally down the. It's kind of ironic. It's literally down the road from where my boss lives.
And they walk past me like, "Sup, motherfucker?"
They left me a message.
Yep, going to work.
I was like, oh boy, this is one of his competitors.
Go
like,
to work,
all right.
dick fuck.
This is one of his competitors. That'd be kind of a dick move, but I don't care.
I'll be back from
Tex,
Texas.
you know you gotta do it. You gotta do something treacherous here, so come on.
Go shut up, Smart.
We'll
You go
get
straight
to
up to your
that.
boss.
We will get to.
We'll get to
That's
that.
a long time. That's gonna be at some point.
Yeah, that's a whole thing in itself right there. But yeah, that's basically what happened with me. But it's whatever. Like right now, I got a backup, so I should be fine.
All right. Nelson, what have you been up to this week?
This week, I've been planning preparations for PAX and anime conventions and TwitchCon. That's gonna be.
You're going to TwitchCon?
Yes.
Fucking awesome.
Yeah. I've been playing a whole lot of Splatoon lately, and I found out that there is plenty of more Splatoon to arrive next week. Oh boy.
the big update, yeah.
Shit,
Yep,
next week.
the big update.
There's a huge update, and they're adding like a new game type, which is like tower defense, and then...
Oh, it's already out.
Oh, yeah,
DLC,
no, it's-
or is it like...
No, it's just
or
a huge
paid
update.
DLC?
It's a new map that's coming out tomorrow.
It's free.
Oh yeah, it's that, and then also I know they're doing like they're reworking the friend system or something like that in that game.
The Miiverse.
Yeah, the Miiverse in that game.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. And they're doing Splatfest next week, which is water slides versus roller coasters. Who
Oh
will
my
win?
god, yes.
Oh, damn.
I'm going waterfall. I'm waterfalls, fuck. Water slides. Anyway,
Oh, and
Water
Tower
slides,
Defense
bitch.
brand has been added too. That's cool.
Good.
Nice.
Who's next? We got Rave.
I want to hear about what Rave does over the course of a week, because
He's a mysterious fellow,
I don't
Rave.
I know, like we see Rave in the chat, and then that's it. We don't really know much.
We don't know your life story.
I've got my
I know.
fingers in so many pies, I'm the pie guy.
God damn it, Rave.
Hey guys.
He just slays all the pie.
What have you been up to though, Rave?
Well, besides starring in my hit show Saturday Pie Night Live,
God fucking damn it, Rave.
Fuck.
The call.
Kick him.
I've just been being myself, observing the calls like Batman and playing video games. Like I'm super addicted to Trove right now. I think I've been playing for a month straight. Yeah,
God.
religiously every day.
what is Trove for the people watching who have never fucking
I've
heard
never
of that
heard
game?
of Trove, actually.
I've
What
never
is
heard of
that?
Trove either, dude.
The best way to describe it is imagine Diablo mixed with Minecraft.
Ew.
That sounds
Wait,
like
Diablo's
Except
the
not
good half.
cancerous.
Minecraft.
yeah. I know.
Man, I can't wait to see
I
that.
liked
at
it. I like
Minecon.
the other way you put it. What if Cube World actually got
Yeah.
finished?
Yeah, I was just using someone else's explanation, but
Okay.
yeah, it is Cube World
Okay,
finished.
that makes sense. Because when you say like Diablo mixed with Minecraft, I just imagine like little kids playing it, and you just hear like the one kid like, "Do you want to join my dedicated server?" From the fucking Minecraft video.
Yeah,
Do you wanna?
It
Do you?
does.
How do you get more wham on this?
Is that a meme?
You
Did I
go.
notice? Did I hear a meme just now?
That's not a meme.
That's a meme. Get out of here.
That's not
Calm
meme.
down.
That's
It is a
not
meme.
meme. That's not a meme, is it?
It is.
That whole thing
the
was a
whole-
meme.
That whole
that's
convention.
a
That whole
thing.
convention is a giant meme.
Oh,
Jesus Christ.
I thought we were referring to in the sense of like.
Don't refer to things. That's
Okay,
usually-
fine. We will. I'm
Good
gonna pull
way-
it back. I jumped the gun a little
The
bit.
meme train has left the station.
All right, and I'm getting off the train right now.
Real quick
First
though.
stop, this podcast.
What's up, Pop?
Quick though.
We'll turn this
Minecon-
podcast around.
Can we get? Max? Can I ask you just a
I
favor?
want to know what Popcron has to say, actually.
I actually just have a question before Popcorn.
Okay,
really
but
quick.
I actually want to know what Popcron has to say.
That's
Pause
fine,
that.
that's
Stop the
absolutely
music.
fine. All right,
Stop the
fine,
music
Popcorn,
for
you
a
go.
second.
At my
Jesus. Oh, go ahead, Pop. Go ahead, Pop.
in Minecon, they actually announced that stupid Telltale game. Or they didn't announce, but they showed more of the story mode, whatever. Did you? Any of you guys see the trailer for that
Everett.
yet?
Absolutely
actually
not.
right.
Is it
I'm
out?
the Oswald's
Furthest
in it.
thing
It
from
looks-
interested in that.
It looks
Oh,
so
God.
bad.
It's bad. It, like, how did they get Patton Oswalt for that job? That's weird.
Because it paid.
Why is there even a
Money.
story mode nonetheless?
It's from
Why?
Telltale Games.
Excuse
So
me.
imagine
They don't have money.
all
They
Telltale
got
games but Minecraft.
Great.
It
Nope.
looks
That sounds horrible.
That
I know.
sounds like a bad mixture right
It sounds
now.
like Jurassic Park.
Oh
Man.
God, Jurassic Park. What?
Yeah, they made a Jurassic
Nothing.
Park game back then.
And it was
Oh, yeah,
crap,
they did.
apparently.
Basically,
Yeah.
the gist of that was nothing good comes out of Minecon.
Oh,
Nothing.
shit.
Oh,
All right,
boy.
well,
Except for money. Lots and lots of money.
Except for money.
I was
Well-
gonna say, Max, could we, just for the future, is there a possibility of if any of us, probably me, so like say if I
Wow.
reference more memes,
that I kick
is
you
there a way
from the
can we
group
just have
forever.
like a sound
Yeah.
effect, like a sound alert effect that says no memes or
Yeah.
some shit
No,
like
I'll
that?
tell you what it sounds like. It sounds like that.
Well, bye.
Thanks.
All right, so
He walked into it. He walked
I
into
just,
it.
You so set me up for that. I
this.
can't even believe it. All right.
Fucking he dropped him.
I absolutely, I'm like sitting there, I'm like, I should have seen this coming.
Mistake. I made a mistake. I made a mistake.
Mistakes
There
were
it is.
All right, so that's the sound effect. Good.
That's the sound.
Good
All
team, high
right.
five.
Okay. So. Anyway, so yeah, Trove then, Rave. You just been playing a lot of Trove.
Rip. Rip.
just leave.
Let me get. You, without seeing Rave's picture, you lose a lot. So let me. This is Rave's fucking vacant stare that we're looking at.
Yeah, you guys
Just
are not
imagine it's
ready
like-
for it.
There it is.
Rave, what do you think, Arthur?
There
Hey,
goes Rave.
all
We
right.
lost Rave.
I guess moving right along then, Drew wanted to
That's
go
in the corner
last,
now.
so that's my turn.
Oh god, you made it
I
bigger.
was on mute. Sorry, guys.
Oh, you
there's
saw
Rave. Rave was
mute.
on mute.
Alright,
Rave was
so
on mute.
just Trove then, Ray.
So, anyways, yeah, Trove. It's essentially everything Cube World was.
No, is it
supposed
just
to
that
be,
that you've been doing?
Except the devs actually give a shit about the game.
Alright, nice, nice.
So you can pretty much build anywhere, but it's all just temporary shit unless you build on your like cornerstone or in a club world, which is your guilds. But all the gameplay is kind of like a reminder of like a third-person version of Diablo. Like none of the classes play the same, or it has like some
Every
shit going
time,
on with it.
every time you
Yeah.
mention it, it makes me want to look it up and actually download and play it, but I'm not ready to jump off that bridge yet.
Yeah,
Join
and if
you in the
do
wall.
download
I think
and
you're
play,
ready.
you
You're
better
ready.
use that freaking referral code I gave you,
Oh, I'll use it. I'll.
so that if you get to level 30 in your mastery rank, I get a cool dragon.
I might do
damn
that
it.
just to get you the dragon, Rave.
What a nice guy.
Yeah,
Alright.
see,
Giving
Max
people
cares.
dragons.
So, my week has pretty much just been the same thing I've been doing for the past couple of weeks now.
Okay.
Putting off the
Yeah,
Pac-Man
we're just
review.
wasted.
Never gonna make
so,
that. It's alright.
what is this? I'm actually curious. What is the Pac-Man review exactly? Because
It
I've
is-
heard
it's
of
just-
fables of it.
It's just a review of Pac-Man World for the PlayStation 1.
How bad is the game?
It's bad. It's not a good game.
I don't think he ever
Yeah, it's
finished
pretty
it.
bad.
I didn't. Oh no, I got stuck on the one carnival level. I
Yeah, I
couldn't
remember.
beat it.
And we watched a speed run, and you were like, "What the fuck? You just skipped."
He skips it. That's how you beat the level. Is you need to just skip it. And I can't do that. So that's it. We were done with that.
If you need to skip it, we could go back into the 90s.
Uh,
God damn it.
Skip it.
God
damn
damn it, Rave.
If you
God
don't mind me
damn it.
asking, what's happening with like the editing process? Because you got really far in that.
Right
and
now-
it was during the point when I was making the early access video too, and we were like,
right
both
now
working
it's at the
extremely
gameplay footage part. If I sit down for like another day, I'll have it done. So I'm gonna try and have it done sometime this weekend to upload, and then my 200th video will come out, and I think you guys are really gonna like that because it's something I put a lot of effort into like 10 years ago. So
I swear to God, I
Jesus.
thought
you'll get
I-
to see Babby Max go on a little adventure for my 200th video.
Max.
So get excited for that.
I swear to God, I thought you were gonna say it's like, oh, I could probably get it in a day, so I'm gonna take all the effort I can, and I'm gonna get it out next month.
Oh my
I
god.
genuinely thought that's what you were gonna say.
Nope.
God damn it.
And then what
Um,
everyone's been waiting for. When are you gonna make some more Rockstar editor videos?
Oh god, I should make more of those. Those are fun.
Actually, what everybody's been waiting for. When are you gonna
But-
make Ginger Moon 4?
That's never gonna happen. Have you been in one of these Skype calls ever?
These
Yeah,
this
that's true.
trilogy is done.
That's a
Trilogy's
meme
over.
too, you know.
Is that a bullshit? Bullshit.
Yeah, know
That's
your
a
meme, man. Come on.
That's a meme that Papa
Okay.
does not want to open
Um,
up anymore.
I take that back.
So, other than that, I have a few things I'm working on with a couple of people in here that I don't really want to say too much about just yet. But
Wow, I
it's
thought we were friends.
Rave. You already know what it is. You've been in here when we worked on it.
I was probably AFK.
You were AFK. Whatever.
Yeah, I mean with that
But,
vacant stare of yours.
We just need to
Dorks.
finish up. We have a script done for one of them. Another
Yeah.
one we need to write the script for and review some footage. But those are going to be coming not really soon, but in the near future.
Yep.
And we will be delivering it directly to you. I did the Iwata thing.
Oh, fuck you.
Yo,
Other than that, just playing fighting games mostly. I saw Jurassic World last night. That was pretty good.
How was it?
Jurassic World's a pretty good movie. I kept hearing that it was just going to be more action packed and not as suspenseful, but it was actually very well like paced and everything, and the action wasn't like stupid.
Oh.
I thought it was a pretty good like on par with the original. I would say.
But Max, did it have raptors on motorcycles?
You know what? The Raptors had laser sights, and Chris Pratt was on a motorcycle.
Why?
Because they had to like see what the Raptors were seeing, so they had like little like laser pointers with cameras mounted to their heads.
Yeah, they
That
just
is-
put like military equipment.
Yeah.
like almost
Because
like it
the
was
one
like
military
a
guy-
military grade GoPro. And by the way,
Also-
the military guy, that's fucking what's his name? Vincent D'Onofrio from Daredevil.
Oh, yeah.
Really?
I recognize
Yeah, that's
him from
that's
something.
Wilson Fisk.
Holy shit.
Wait, you're being serious about that? You're not fucking with me right now?
No,
What,
I'm
the-
dead serious. If you look at it, like, hang on, I'll pull up a picture.
Which part?
The military guy.
Nelson's like all fucked up right now.
Well,
I,
I gotta say this on the subject of Wilson Fisk. The only good Wilson Fisk there was the one from the '90s Spider-Man cartoon.
Shut up. This was the best one.
God damn it, Ray.
I will fight you on that argument.
But-
This guy.
Bring it on, fat man.
But the end of Jurassic World was
Yeah, it was
pretty
nice.
much like
No, I was talking about
the
the
ending of a
lasers.
Platinum game, in how stupid it was. I loved it. It was great.
Yeah, it was overall it was a good movie. The
Was
few
it like? Well, go ahead. Sorry.
the few like one of the things I heard about going into it was the advertisements within the movie, the ad placements
God.
or whatever.
Pepsi.
And I don't feel like it was really bad. Like everyone
Coca-Cola
was saying, I felt it
gets
fit
some-
very well.
Yeah,
It's
I mean,
because Coca-Cola owns every movie theater
yeah,
ever.
like Coca-Cola and like what is it, Mercedes, whatever. They get a bit of screen time, but that's not. You don't even really pay attention to that.
Yeah, it's like
Um,
even like they were making fun of like Tostitos-saurus or something. And
Oh, no,
Verizon
that part-
Wireless
I like that
Presents. It was fine. It was. I
But,
don't see what people hated about that.
The other thing it handled really well was like it referenced the original, but not to like a stupid degree.
It was
like
a
the
nice,
recent
subtle.
Terminator.
It was very subtle.
It was
It
subtle
did
in some
pander to them,
parts,
though.
and it like
Unlike-
added things in other parts that made sense, like how they covered up the fact that none of the dinosaurs have feathers, which apparently they're supposed to have. Like they have a really cool way of explaining that, and it's just, overall I thought it was. It's not like the next what people think is the best movie, Citizen Kane, which sucks. It's not gonna like blow your mind, but it was a really good movie.
It was worth a watch.
Unlike the
Oh yeah,
recent
definitely go and
Terminator
see
movie.
it. That's
It's definitely worth a watch.
Also, first
especially if you've seen the original.
it's also the first movie I've ever seen fully in 3D.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
You saw that? in
Really?
3D?
I saw it in 3D. It didn't add anything, but it also didn't make me feel sick. So
Did it
Now,
have snow vision?
With me, I prefer not to see movies in 3D.
Yeah,
'cause
I don't like
normally There's
3D.
nothing. There's no point. In your
Yeah, I
your
just
point.
like it.
God.
I noticed it for a bit, and then my eyes adjusted, and it just looked like a 2D movie. But I was
Yeah,
wearing
it's
stupid
not-
glasses.
It's not.
Tutti
He's
frutti.
slowly dying. It's the more movies that come out, you see that they're slowly going away from 3D.
Yeah,
Hey, Dragon Ball was pretty good in 3D.
it's a cartoon.
Was it?
Yeah, it was actually pretty good.
All right.
But
Oh, wait, you're being
Compared to
serious?
Tron, yeah, it was.
something else big happened this week, but I think we're gonna wait a little bit to talk about that.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Talk
God.
about that.
Oh man.
So in the meantime, we're finally to Drew. Drew, what
Oh,
happened this
boy.
week?
Oh boy!
Not only
Really
this
got the
week,
mic.
but just in recent times, I've been a busy guy. I've got a gig in New York starting where I'm going to be doing stand-up in the city.
I am excited for that. When he finds out the date, I'm going. I'm totally
What
going.
up, boy?
In,
Drugs.
in New Jersey, I'm also going to be performing with an improv troupe in a city nearby where I live. I've been cooking a lot of ideas for future content for my channel. And I've been working on music for the Orbital Frame project Smarty and I are a part of.
The new one's gonna be so good.
Hopefully, if it all turns out the way that I
Wait.
want it to.
Yeah.
It
has
all
some
depends
levels.
on the final
How you
execution.
pitched it to me. You were like, "We're gonna be gods if this comes out correctly," and I was like,
If it
"Oh,
sounds how it does,
Jesus!"
if the final product sounds how it does in my head going in, it'll
And-
be something that people will remember for a long time.
Yes.
But that's gonna require a little more work on my end. But I'm gonna be working on that tomorrow. and probably through the night.
Oh boy.
I
That's,
can't wait. It's so
One of the projects that I'm making for my own channel is I got started with working with all of the wonderful customization options in Dynasty Warriors 8 Empires.
we're all in it.
Frank the
I love it.
Oh god.
And
I'm just
I've got a
pizza master.
whole bunch of people as a part of my kingdom as we will venture into the world of Franks, and we'll see which Frank will be our arch nemesis.
That reminds me, Drew. Do you still need my sound clip for the
I need
catchphrase?
sound clips from everyone who's a part of the army.
Right.
The only person who sent in their sound clip is Shippage.
Oh my god.
I've been
I'll get that
busy
done.
with work, but I will send it in.
I'll do it like right after this.
And
I have to think
that's
of something.
basically once I have all the sound clips, I'm gonna make a trailer for it, which will introduce
who's actually doing the voice clips?
the voice clips
I
for
will-
everyone that's in the army. Smarty is a part of the army. Max is in the army. Rave is in my army. Shippage. Then there's me as the leader. Phil is there, and Lyle is also my enforcer.
Oh my god.
Oh god.
He'll
Got
be the
quite the-
marshal.
We got
But-
we got quite a cast.
Lunch. You know him
Yeah.
well.
God
They're-
damn it.
They're all the team.
Back to get
And-
some tail.
Phil is, and then Tom is also there. Tom, Phil, and my IRL love interest lady.
Oh,
Is
really
involved.
She is involved as well because I couldn't think of like another female. So since I don't really have any female friends because I hate women.
Damn it.
Bedtime Stories is a podcast that does not watch its tongue.
Nice. We don't have filters.
Good thing
folks.
to add. No filter.
It is an all-in
not
jest
your
podcast.
grandma's
Yeah.
podcast.
Dropping the
There's-
N-bomb in 3, 2,
there's,
1.
Nope.
Nickelback.
There's this lovely thing in the world called hyperbole. That's something that a lot of people don't understand. Most
That
of them are
too.
women, but
Oh god.
Oh god.
see, there's another great example of hyperbole.
Oh Jesus Christ.
But I got to watch a lot of funny women today on stage. A lot of the comedians that were at the show that I went to, where I got my gig, a lot of them were female, and they all talked about the same thing, but they were funny. It was just the same act like 4 times. That's the only downside.
Was
One
it
of them
going-
was-
I'm gonna
One
bet
of
it
them
was
was
like
like-
going on a date with a guy, fucking, and their period.
No, it was very simple.
Oh, that's
Hey
good.
guys.
One of them.
No,
one
that's
of them
every
walked up.
comedian I've seen.
That's
like
like
fucking
tastelessly
Chelsea, whatever her
sexist.
name is. Like there's some Netflix fucking comedian like stand-up things, and that's all they talk about.
Sarah Silverman too.
Sarah Silverman is just
Sarah
all-
Silverman.
Sarah
I've heard that
Silverman was
name in a
probably,
while.
Like the closest thing to the material of what they were doing, but it was just I saw I think about 4 different women. Okay, 3 of them were the same act, and one of them really was. She blew my mind. She's awesome, but 3 of them were the same act 3 different ways. One of them walked up and she was like, "I'm thin. Sex is weird."
What?
The other one went up and she was like, "I'm Mormon. Sex is weird." Another one went up there and she was like, "I'm from New York. Sex is weird." And
What the hell?
then the 4th one, who's easily one of my favorite writers and comedians. Her name is Sharia Sarkar, and you will see her in the near future on like Comedy Central or something. She's intense.
She's going places.
So she goes up there and she's like, "I was gonna have a baby, but I killed it." And
Oh my god.
she had
Oh.
Thank you.
the whole thing was about
Oh.
abortion. Like her whole thing was all about abortion and like how her family are a bunch of fucking pieces of shit and that she hates them. It was great. It was such a breath of fresh air after like sex is weird. Sex is weird. Hey, I'm gay. Sex is weird. People think I'm not gay because I'm attractive. Sex is so weird. Oh, and this guy didn't think I was gay. So punchline is I had sex with him, and the whole room's like, man, we're gonna totally cheer that on because, you know, I'd have sex with him. So it's totally believable that this story that didn't happen. And it's just, I mean, I understand a lot of people relate that sex is weird because, believe it or not, sex is a little weird because you can make you can make your sexual partner feel amazing without using the things that we call sexual organs at all. And that's pretty cool and weird about sex. But like having 3 different people go up and like do the same jokes and like expecting the audience to react a different way, I thought that was very interesting. Because
the same exact jokes, like the same
yeah,
routine
the
almost.
It felt like the same routine, except
It was
almost
like an iteration of what was just
I'm-
said, but like differently.
Yeah, she was like, "Hi, I'm Mormon, and sex is a little weird to me because Mormons are weird. So I have like the double weird card."
Hey, well,
Like
I
she
see you
came out and she
memeing
was
in the
like-
chat, Smarty. You shut the fuck
She
up.
was
I'm
like,
not memeing. What the fuck? Stop it.
Rainbow
Kappa.
Kappa, are you
That Kappa.
serious?
That Kappa.
Okay, continue on, and we'll go. We'll do that
Yeah,
later.
let's just ignore Smarty's lay epic memes from Reddit.
I think the Mormon lady was last, or maybe it was Sharia Sarkar. It was one of the two. But the
God.
Mormon lady was like, I was like, oh god. As soon as she's like, hey, I'm Mormon. I'm like, oh cool. She's gonna talk about like religious stuff, and
And
she's
then
like,
sex is weird.
I gave my first blowjob after I went to a cult, and I was like, well, there goes any and all integrity.
There goes the funny.
Man, if only she had a brain.
Oh my god.
I mean,
Oh,
it doesn't take much to just be like, hey, let's talk about sex, because half of the crowd is gonna know what you're talking about, and the other half has to pretend that they do, or they're gonna look like losers. So it's like a guaranteed laugh. Like when I do go up and do comedy, I don't talk about things that people relate to. I talk about how I don't have anything in common with anybody and how much of a struggle that is, and my alternative viewpoint that was created from being somebody who essentially feels like I'm a scientist looking through a glass wall at all of you fucking weirdos and trying to figure out how society works so I can write it down.
Society?
So I can write it down on a piece of paper before we press the button to annihilate the entire human race and start over, because we obviously fucked up. And like that's my whole approach, which is completely different from the gay guy who walked up there and was like, sex is weird, I'm gay. And like I understand, you're gay, it's cool nowadays, and gay marriage is a thing now. Woohoo! Good job for America for finally catching up. But that was his one good joke. It was like when they legalized gay marriage, it was like seeing an old person talking about how they got their braces off. Like
the
didn't
hell?
you,
Like finally.
like it's just that's a pretty funny analogy for them finally legalizing gay marriage. It's like a 90-year-old person is like, hey, I'm trying to get my braces off. Like, well, why the fuck did you have them in the first place? You're 90 years old. Like, why don't you just
Christ.
give up
Actually-
after a while?
I'm actually curious, Drew. I know we briefly talked about it, like when it was like when we were in a different call or something like that. But I'm like curious, what are your like stand-up comedic like influences?
My comedic influences are 3 people, 3 very influential people.
Okay.
Bill Burr is where I get. I want to be funny like Bill Burr. I want to have the respect of the people and the cerebral impact that George Carlin has.
Okay.
Oh, George Carlin was a legend.
And basically I watch it whenever I want to do stand-up comedy. I watch a couple videos. I watch a Bill Burr video to get my attitude set. I watch a George Carlin video to get like that. This is how I want people to remember me. I want them to come out of that show and be like, yeah, he was funny, but like he talked about this stuff that like I never really thought about. And now that I'm thinking about it, I really want to watch him again. Maybe he'll talk more about it. And then I watch Hitler because I'm like, man.
God. Whoa.
He's like
You
I don't know.
for public
I don't-
speaking, I'm guessing.
feel
What
like-
a perfect setup! He knocked it out of the park.
I
like,
don't,
oh my
blame
God.
Drew. I don't blame
whenever I
Drew
watch
for that.
Hitler, I really feel like Hitler had the best PR in the world.
Guys,
Because
yeah, let
he's-
him just speak. Let him do his own thing. He's got this.
he's not a very good public speaker. He stands like he's got a stick the size of the Berlin Wall up his ass at all times. Like he's very stiff. He
God.
speaks with, he doesn't really speak. He yells. And he's a complete fucking coward, and there's nothing that he did that was influential or unique. Everyone's like, oh, but he took over the country. Like, you kidding me? The country was already taken over. It was blown up and everything after the war. Remember the First World War that the Germans were like, hey, let's all have a world war, and everyone killed them? Yeah,
But
Germany was
And then the
kinda-
Versailles thing happened. He was like, all right.
Germany
But
was
Drew,
like, hey,
he did revolutionize something in Germany. He changed the world of showers as we know today.
very true. but he just, like, anybody could have done what he did, because the country was at its most vulnerable, and like they just really
He grabbed Germany by the balls, essentially.
when you talk about a country like losing a war, Germany lost.
They got destroyed.
World War
They
One
got,
for Germany.
I believe
was
the
not
term
great.
That was literally, they got, like, the Treaty of Versailles was like, okay, after this, you can't have an army. There's no army for you.
no more. Just stop.
When
They
did
were
the
like,
debt get paid
Germany
off
just-
finally?
It was like, yeah, it's
I
like,
don't even
and
know,
also,
dude.
it's like you get no army. All of this shit goes to the other countries surrounding you. So
And you're gonna pay for everything. You
Yeah.
pay everything. But like when you think about that, so the country's in that state, and all you have to do if you want to be Hitler is just be like, hey, I can fix everything, and everyone believes.
goes,
it.
everyone goes, really?
What's he
like
gonna
when
do?
you said that if you want to be like Hitler, I was like thinking what build concentration camps, but that was just me thinking that.
That was just a part of his big solution thing. But
Now I
like,
don't know if he's serious or not with this shit.
but like with Hitler, it's like all he had to do was just come out and say, I have the solution, and enough people believed him that he got the position that he had. Literally anyone else could have been where he was.
Yeah,
He's
it
not
was a
special.
bigger
He's not good. So I always look at him as like, I don't want anyone looking at me on stage. I don't want that kind of stage presence. I want the stage presence of someone who is the opposite of what Hitler is when he's speaking. So like I always look at that as like, hey, whenever I get really angry, I never want to look like I'm yelling about shit like I'm Hitler. I want to look like I'm yelling about shit like I'm Sean Kennedy or
I, feel
Sam-
like,
oh,
I don't know
Sam
why it's
Kinison?
Sam Kinnison. Sam Kinnison.
Sam Kennison. I can never
Sam
remember
Kinison.
his name.
Yeah, Sam Kinison was
I don't wanna
phenomenal.
I don't want to
Like,
live my
I
life like
love-
Sam Kinison, but I do want to yell like him, and I want
Yeah.
that
He
kind
has
of
some of
stage
the
presence.
he has some of the best like rants.
Yeah, his
What he's
dude,
all
his,
about, man.
yeah, his
Like
his,
my-
like his
yeah.
punchlines and everything were so. The way he delivered these jokes and everything was just like there was no one at that time that would do that, like yell at this and that. But the way, like everyone always say that, oh, it's like he's a psycho, he's just yelling this and that. But like when he does it, it's actually funny though because it's
Yeah.
not just some random rambling blah blah isn't it? It's this and that. Like
There's a
no,
punch.
like,
There's a setup
yeah,
to the
he-
punchline.
yeah,
There's
he
not just
builds
yell.
it up. Yeah, he builds it up to a point where when it, I don't know, he hits with that punchline, he just yells. It's just hilarious, dude. Like, oh my god.
Yeah, it's like that crescendo. That's what it is. Like
yeah,
with me,
that's exactly it.
one of my big influences, I don't know, this is just something I want to eventually get to. If I ever were to like be like, oh, I'm gonna try stand-up comedy or something like that.
Smarty, what
And-
you gotta remember though, memes are not for stand up.
That's
Sorry,
not at all
man.
what I was going for.
Hey guys, do you
Sorry.
hate when you're Dakimakura, like you can't like get it on the plane because
So there's this
security
guy named
thinks there's
Chris
too much
Chan that
liquid
we're
in
talking
it?
about, and
Hey man, Chris Chan's like totally a meme.
yeah,
That's like meme
No,
number
I-
one.
There's
So-
a stand-up comedian that talked about Chris Chan. His
Oh,
name is
Jesus.
Anthony. His name is I think it's Anthony Alog Legato. If you
A-log.
Yeah, Anthony Alog Legato. He did like a stand-up where he talked about Chris Chan, and you know I use the term "killed the crowd," and a lot of
He
people think
murdered
when
the
you
crowd.
when like you kill the crowd, usually it's a good thing. But I usually say that when you kill the crowd, it can be when you're killing is great, but also when you're killing it can be bad because
Yeah.
he killed the crowd. The crowd was like laughing at first, and then he was like, Chris Chan, blah, blah, blah. Like, as soon as he mentioned this person that none of them knew who Chris Chan was.
I don't think no
So,
one wants to
like,
know.
So half the room is confused. The other half is like trying to get to the joke, but there is no joke.
And it's just there. They're like, what's the thing? What am I supposed to be laughing at?
Yeah,
So like his
there's
whole
no build-up.
routine the whole routine absolutely like bombs incredibly. So if you want to see what happens when you bring memes to the stand-up,
No, I would not. No, I was gonna say like my two big influences for comedic shit are, I want to say, Patton Oswalt. I love Patton Oswalt. Fuck off. I love Patton Oswalt. He's a nerdy comedian, but still he's able to like get to that point of like still being like intelligent and whatnot. And then the other one, which a lot of people know, is Bill Hicks. Bill fucking
Bill
Hicks is
yeah.
amazing. Like
I don't know
he
if
is
you
one of
could
those
ever-
comedians who can make you laugh and think at the same time.
Yeah, but it sucked that his thing was
He died of
cancer.
pancreatic cancer.
pancreatic,
pancreatic at like 30-something years old.
And that's what sucked though for him. It was just like
Because he had just
like, you
reached his
couldn't-
prime.
yeah,
he could
he
have
reached
still
his
kept
prime.
going.
And what's his name? Was it Letterman? Letterman
banned his last like.
and that's what that was the devastating part for at least Bill Hicks. And that guy was actually really funny. Like that guy literally had no filter. He would say whatever the fuck was on his mind, and it
Bill-
would still
that's
be
the-
funny.
That's so interesting that one of your influences is Bill Hicks, because
I love
Marty,
Bill. I really
I gotta
love
tell
Bill
you.
Hicks. I
I
know
mean,
where you're
no
gonna go with
offense,
this.
but I don't think you
for
can.
you.
I don't think you could
got
ever
bad
live up
news
to
for
Bill
you.
Hicks.
No, I know I could never ever live up to Bill Hicks. He's like one of those guys like you just look at and go, how did you get to that point? And like
He's just.
it's just
he
like
gave
it's
up.
just I love his I know he gave up. That's the thing. Like he fucking
Gave
just
up on
his
that
whole
filter.
his whole thing was just he's like I'm gonna do this my way, and no one's gonna tell me how to do it. So like that, there's a reason why he's called the outlaw comic. Like he
Yeah.
really was an outlaw
the
comic.
dark poet.
The dark fucking poet.
He was an incredible
could-
force.
No, my favorite. He did a stand-up routine. I forget the exact. Oh, it's Let me see. He did a stand-up routine, and one of the things I remember from that was it was Sane Man. That was it, Sane Man, and he like watching the video. He is commanding the audience, basically commanding laughter at him, and it's one of the greatest things you'll ever fucking see.
Oh damn.
Like I think the one joke I remember is when he's like, he says he's like he's in a Waffle House reading a book, and this waitress comes up to him and it's like looks down at him and goes, "What you reading for?" And he goes, "What am I reading?" It's like that stumped me. Like what? Not what am I reading, but what am I reading for?
Yeah.
I think the main reason why I'm reading is not to be a fucking waffle waitress. So. Just that fucking gets me every time.
Subtle. It's just so subtle and just fucking smacks you in the face out of nowhere. Like, oh god.
Yeah, he's abrasive and fucking thought provoking. It's awesome.
Yeah.
It's hard to pull that off in today's world.
Yeah.
But I think that
I really thought Mitch Hedberg would be like one of your major ones.
the problem with Mitch Hedberg, and what his problem will always be, is that he's in a long form. All right, stand-up comedy is long form. Mitch Hedberg is short form. He does one-liners,
Just
which is
like his
great
life.
for writing.
Oh my
Great for
god,
writing.
Brave.
But his material isn't meant for stand-up. Like when he did a special, he went back to his old material because like he ran out of material, because like with him an hour's worth of material of one-liners is a lot of one-liners.
Yeah.
That's a lot of one-liners.
Yeah.
That's not easy to do.
Yeah. So.
Anyway,
Yeah.
enough
So we're gonna like go into like another like
moving
topic.
along.
Yeah.
Wow.
Jacking
Great-
off penguins.
Really,
Yeah, right, Ray?
really subtle segue, by the
Exactly.
way, Aphex. I really appreciate
Yeah.
that start stop. Let's give some of the people who haven't had a lot to say so far a chance to talk. We saw it earlier in the chat, people talking about Dragon Ball Super. I haven't fucking seen it yet. We gotta,
I've not.
We gotta slowly get towards video games again. So
Yes.
let's start looping back around.
Okay, so I saw Dragon Ball Super. I watched it, and I don't know exactly where it's going yet, but I like it. Just because
Wow, Pops,
it.
I thought we were friends. You saw it without us.
He's like, you fucked up, Pop.
But no, it's like maybe you know what it is right now. At least is that I'm just glad to see more Dragon Ball because I've been a huge fan of Dragon Ball since I was a kid. I used to watch it all the time. I used to
Pops,
play.
You know what I'm glad to see?
What?
That smile on your face for seeing new Dragon Ball.
Did you play Final Bout?
But oh, don't mention Final Bout.
Fucking
Final Bout's good.
But no, like when I was a kid, I played all the Budokai games. I played all the Tenkaichi games, and those were a ton of fun. So I've always been into the Dragon Ball series. It's just
So now,
and come on, Dragon Ball Super. The preview for the second episode is Vegeta going on a family vacation.
In a train.
Is this picking up after a certain arc? Where is
Saga.
this?
It's in between the final episode of Dragon Ball Z, or the final 2 episodes, whatever it is, and right after they kill Kid Buu. It's like the peacetime or whatever when it's
Okay.
peaceful.
So this
And-
is final.
Is it
This
before
is
P-
Dragon Ball the sitcom.
Yes.
It may go
Basically.
to that point because so far it's just been like Goten and
Jokes.
Trunks are trying to find a gift for Videl and they get watered.
Oh
Yep.
god.
Why is that even important
Uh,
though? What the fuck?
Uh,
Watch that.
Goku
they-
is a farmer now.
He's always
What?
been a farmer.
Piccolo is stalking Gohan and Videl for some reason.
So,
Guardian.
It's just
What else is he going to do in the wasteland?
Yeah.
but overall, it's
He's a slug
good.
person.
if you're a
It's okay.
Dragon Ball fan, it's good.
I think it's
You'll-
okay.
You'll
Could
get
be
it.
better.
Well,
Well, it's the first
even
episode.
Then,
I
it's
did
nice
see-
to have something good, but like they even like what was that movie? Battle of the Gods. That was a good send off because it wasn't focused on
Yeah.
the fighting. It was just focused on the characters just being themselves. So
You know-
I guess
What?
it's the series is just going to build up more on that then.
I think that what's interesting about the direction of where Dragon Ball Z is going, and this is coming from the creator's mouth, is that he's more concerned with them focusing on their basic forms. So, like, you're not going to see Super Saiyan 16 in any time soon. What he wants to do is make Super Saiyan 1 the most powerful form, which is why at the end of Battle of the Gods, Goku goes back to his Super Saiyan form but doesn't lose his god powers. So now
like that.
whenever Goku goes to Super Saiyan, it's stronger than anything else he's ever had. And there was a time earlier in the series where Vegeta, who was training in Super Saiyan 1, was at least rumored by the other characters in the show to be stronger than where Goku was while he was in Super Saiyan 3. And Vegeta never became Super Saiyan 3. So it was a more basic form, which he's just trying to push home that there's potential for strength that's higher than anything else in the series, all within these 2 basic forms. Like, he may get rid of Super Saiyan altogether and make it just so that their basic forms are the strongest.
Well, even in Dragon Ball Z, they made it very obvious that Super Saiyan 3 was very hard on his body, and it was always throughout whenever he was using it, because the only time it was useful to him was when he was dead, because
In the other
he
world.
had no... What was it? He had a physical body still, but... How did that work?
It wasn't
Dragon Ball
his
makes no
actual
sense.
it wasn't his
wasn't
actual
his-
physical body, so it didn't.
Okay, but it was still a physical body. But that's why he was able to have his body strained to use that. But as you saw when he gained his life back at the end of the Buu saga,
Saga.
he was losing power as he was trying to charge up.
I'm happy you guys got more Dragon Ball. That show's still dumb as hell, but I'm happy you got more.
But
And chat is saying like it's slow now because there
Yeah,
has
it's
to be a build up, obviously.
Yeah.
They're also saying it's gonna cover a lot of the multiverse stuff, a lot of the movies, stuff like that. Maybe Bio Broly's gonna get his own saga this
Shut
time.
up! Stop
Broly.
right there.
It'll be about time.
Well, one question I have, and Nelson may
Star
know
of the
this,
show.
is where does Super take place in comparison to Battle of Gods and Resurrection of F?
It's
I'm really lost
It's
there.
after Super, and it's after Battle of the Gods. It's after.
So wait, Super
But
is
during
after
Bio
the
Broly.
movies?
No. What? So
Battle
Resurrection.
Resurrection F is after Super. I'm pretty sure.
What?
Why did they do this?
It's weird.
I don't
But I guess
understand.
that
Everyone just makes no sense to me anymore.
I think
Well,
it's
that would
in
make
between
sense.
a couple of years because there's like in Battle of Gods he's like, I'll come back in a couple of years, and then
Then he comes back in a couple of years.
and then Resurrection F happens, and in
That
between
does-
that Super.
That does make sense because at the beginning of Resurrection F, and I only know this because of the tie-in manga or whatever, they were
Hey.
training with Whis,
Yes.
right? So that makes sense, I guess. Okay.
All right.
Also in the Super opening, they never showed the Super transformation of Goku, so that's another thing.
They showed his
only-
god form.
I'm just waiting.
No,
for
no,
this-
no, the Super Saiyan 1 version of it. They never showed.
Oh. Okay,
So,
yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So it's the in between part. Of
I'm
those
just
two.
waiting for the Sailor Moon crossover with.
Yeah,
Dragon
yeah, I'm waiting for that too.
I'd watch that. Give me that movie. I want like there to
Sailor
be.
Moon versus Dragon Ball Z.
No, I
What?
want like I want Bio Sailor
Awesome.
Mars, and she becomes evil, and then and then the Z Warriors have to fight her.
And then she
They
she
call
like
them-
no she marries Broly out of nowhere. So it's like Bio Mars and Bio Broly, and just like
No,
and
no,
then
it's going to be
and then like I don't know,
Bio
it's gonna be like this intuitive
come
scene
on.
where it just like just this giant bio sex scene out of nowhere between these two.
I want half the movie to be transformation scenes, though.
Okay, we're not fan
Dude, like imagine like Bio Sailor Mars, like this bitch would have like fucking like a 10-pack out of nowhere and shit.
On her
She
face.
just shoot yeah, like on her face
Yeah,
too.
it'd be great.
She'll have she'll look like she had like fucking Botox or some shit, and she'll be just as tall as Broly and just as big as Broly also. So
think-
it's just be like, oh god,
I
that'd be
think you-
terrible.
No, it's the
I think
fusion.
you really
between
need to work
Broly
on
and,
the
fusion.
Sailor Mars.
No,
Fusion.
but my fan fictions are so godlike. I got my own account already, man. You don't know.
They have bio children apparently.
Oh god. But
They they make these little bio minions out of nowhere. They just release it against the Z Warriors and the fucking Sailor Scouts.
You guys are all small time. When's the Flintstones WWE crossover with Dragon Ball Z gonna hit?
I can't
I'll
wait
tell
for
you
that.
when.
That'd be amazing.
Wait,
Oh how
Oh
like,
god,
what-
it's CM Punk. He's going Super Saiyan World Champion 3.
Oh god, he's about to drop the pipe bomb.
there's something I need to show you guys. It is called Garfield Effect.
Later,
Excuse-
or
Later on, that's something that's gonna be seen off screen.
Yeah,
With fucking god, like instead of like the spirit bomb, be the pipe bomb basically.
but
anyway,
It's something we need
if
to
that's
read.
all we
we'll
got
make sure
on
that's in the description.
What are we reading?
Dragon Ball Super.
Oh, not right now.
If that's
Not right
all
now,
we
but-
got for that, speaking of things getting brought back and rebooted, Ken is in Street Fighter V,
Oh boy.
Yeah,
And
I
they-
saw that at the convention. What a shock.
and it was a
say.
big. You know what?
What a
I think it
shock.
was kind of a shock.
Shock.
Yeah,
Just
why would they
because-
bring Ken back?
No,
Nobody
but I
calls
didn't
it.
think they'd bring Ken back this early. I thought Ken would be
Yeah.
like an Evo type thing. I wasn't expecting it to just be
I
like.
thought
a
they're gonna like
Pokemon.
pull. I thought they're gonna pull like a fucking Fulgore thing, like they did with Ki. Like Fulgore is like the most talked about character, and they saved him for last on purpose in season 1. And then when it happened, he was like, "Oh my god!" Oh, and everyone was so surprised still, even though like like that. I thought they were gonna do that with Ken because a lot of people were asking, "Where the hell's Ken? Where the hell's Ken?" So I thought they were gonna do what freaking Iron Galaxy did, or what at the time Double Helix did in season 1, and be like, "Hey, let's save him for last because that's will build up the hype even more." But nope, he's early and he looks like Rugal from
Ken,
KOF.
Here, I'm gonna get a picture of Ken up. But in the meantime, Ken
Yeah, I
right
haven't seen it
now
yet.
looks so much fun to play as. His costume looks amazing. His
Yeah.
hairstyle shows like that he's aging and that he's growing his hair back. His fucking face. I don't know
Face-
what brick wall he got into a fight with, but
Oh my
but
god!
that nigga
Oh my God.
lost.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Ken-
I don't
Ken looks-
know about his outfit though because it felt like it was crawling in my skin.
These wounds, they will not heal.
I never got that. Like Vet said kind of the same thing. I didn't get the whole crawling in my skin vibe from it. It's just his old gi with the top folded down, and now he's wearing an undershirt.
don't understand my pain, Max.
I don't
dude, you
understand
don't
Ken's pain.
Max, you don't understand.
He's
Rape's trying
self-harming
to-
his face. I don't know
He
what.
looks like The Witcher.
Let me get a screenshot of his face. Give me a second.
Yeah, like I don't know. Like I like how Ken's playstyle looks though. He's more kick oriented now,
He's
which is cool.
incredibly rushdown oriented with his V skill just being a straight up like move cancelable run.
Yeah, the V trigger. Yeah, that V trigger. It's auto dash out, right?
Yeah, it's just a no, not V trigger. The V skill, which is medium punch and medium kick, is a run. You can hold it for as long as you want. You gain meter while you're meter for your V trigger while you're running, and then you can cancel it into forward medium kick or some of his specials and grab, I think.
Basically,
pretty insane.
Ken was taught by the Onion Master, but only listened to half of the rap.
He was only doing
Kick.
kicks instead.
It's all in the mind.
Oh,
Ken,
that's
Ken,
what you're referencing.
what are you doing, Ken? You got to punch also. God damn it,
Kick,
Ken.
punch, kick.
No, I said punch, kick. And then Ken kicked the shit out of fucking the Onion Master.
And then Apology Man comes in and goes block. No, you gotta. Apology Man.
Fucking and F Champ comes out of nowhere, be like, "What are you doing, Ken?"
Yeah, his hair does look the style looks fine. The actual hair itself looks like bananas.
Yeah, a bunch of bananas.
It looks like a ton of bananas that they shoved together, but people are saying things. Ken is very early on. The game is very early on. I'm imagine by the time it comes out that Ken will be rectified, and he will be the perfect Street Fighter V character.
I hope.
Because if they just fix his head, then that's it. That's my character. Him and Nash. I don't need anybody else. The game.
But what about your boo DeCapre though?
Man, DeCapre's never coming back. She's
More like
dead.
Decap Bay.
DeCapre,
She's been
yeah, there
dead.
you go.
Even when you could play as her, she was dead.
Fucking A.
No, playstyle looks really good.
Yeah, I like how they changed him up a little bit. He does seem a lot more rushdown oriented. He does have dive kicks now.
Dive
skill.
Ken is
It's just
mean.
insane.
Ken's his only real drawback is that he doesn't have a lot of health. That's it.
I mean, well, then again, remember it's very early. It's very early in development, so it's we don't know. We don't know for sure if that's just it for now.
That nigga's getting nerfed. That's what's gonna happen. There is no way they're leaving him at that strength.
He's the
That
new
is too
Akuma,
much.
basically. We're getting
feels
violent
like-
Ken, guys.
Yeah, what? Yeah,
they're
what if we get
doing
Violent
with,
Ken?
what
I'm
they're
not
doing with
This
Street
Ken
Fighter
is
V,
violent Ken. Alright.
Evil Ken.
This is evil Ken. Look at him.
It feels like what they're doing with Street Fighter V is a lot similar to what they've done with Heroes of New Earth or Dota 2, where you take these characters and you just make them all really powerful and then balance downwards instead of trying to make it balanced from the beginning and then have the never-ending struggle of trying to get everybody equal. You have everybody at an equal strength where everybody can kick each other's ass at certain points, and
Yeah.
then seeing which ones have more of an advantage for a longer period of time, and then shortening those windows until things
Which
are more
is
even.
the best way to really do it. And the biggest thing right now so far from what I've played is that every character is good and every character is viable.
Yeah.
Everybody has some sort of tool that can help you get around projectiles or rush down.
Yeah.
Some have a bit, more of a hard time with it, but that comes with balancing a game. Like
Yeah.
Nash can't handle rush down worth shit. He doesn't have an invincibility wake up or any moves with invincibility for that matter, but he does have his teleport
Yeah.
if you get damaged too much. Everybody, they're doing a really good job with the game. Just in
It
general.
feels like they're doing things right, and that's how you should make fighting games, where you can play whatever character you really do want to play, and not have these matchups that will plague you until the end of time.
Yeah.
You have ways to get around it because your character is strong enough in itself to allow you to maneuver around it,
Yeah.
and
I'm
that
not-
just seems like the best course of action for that.
I'm not gonna lie though, like these V skills, whatever. Honestly, I feel like they took notes on the instinct mode for KI. I'm not just saying that. Like I honestly feel like that in a certain way because
it
you know how.
kind of feels like that, but at the same time, it just after playing with it, and I went from Street Fighter V to KI to Street Fighter V, it feels different enough.
Yeah, because like like the whole instinct thing, like how Jago can only recover health with his projectiles, or Orchid has the fire cat, etc., etc.
Yeah,
it's
no.
like like how Ryu has block stun, I think, right? He's able to break he inflicts more block damage, I think.
Yeah.
Some shit like that, yeah. And Ken has the dive kicks in his. He has the quick step and stuff like that. And Chun-Li has the insane projectile shit for
No,
kicks
they
and stuff.
got rid of the projectile shit.
Oh, really?
She has
Wow.
multi-hit normals now, which is still really good. But the projectile shit turned her into Morrigan, and that wasn't good.
so
One
I'm
other
a bitch.
thing is at the end of the Ken trailer, they showed like quick flashes of this guy. This is the brand new character from New Zealand that they said they were going to release. That's just what he is.
What the hell?
We'll see what he looks like in fully, and he will be unveiled at Evo. I have no doubt.
Who knows? Who knows?
Yeah.
All right. I want to transition to something because seeing how it's bedtime stories, we gotta have some stories as well.
One of
story
the
time.
worst ways to seamlessly transition is to use the word.
I want to transition. I want to transition into something. I don't care. Now we're transitioning things, Max. We're gonna reuse the word transition over and over again. This transition, okay?
Here we go.
Here we go. Because seeing how this is bedtime stories and everything, we want to
Aphex got fucking fired.
I got fucking fired. Let's go back to that. I'm not talking about me getting fired, but like in a sense of like we all have jobs and everything.
We're gonna talk about bad job stories. There, I did it for you.
Yeah,
I saved us like 5 minutes of stumbling over.
Thank you. I wasn't even stumbling, Max. I wasn't even stumbling.
Not yet. Give it time.
I'm gonna fight you.
Wow, way to like.
He's gonna fight you at Magfest.
I'm gonna fight you at MacFest. When you make your entrance, I'm gonna tackle you to the floor. But anyway, yeah. So like, we all have jobs, obviously. But I want to know, like, have you guys ever had a moment where you had to deal with some
I can't even
fucked up
believe I
situation?
interrupted the long-winded transition. You went back to it.
Let me do it. It's my time. This is my time.
Let's start with
Little
Smarty.
Brown. Do Little Brown.
Okay, we're gonna start with Smarty, just because I don't think I've heard many of his. So,
I don't know anything.
bad work stories, any work stories in general. Just what do you
back
got?
at the movie theater, I had a crazy woman think some dude was a terrorist because he had a green watch.
Oh my god, I remember one of your stories, Smarty.
Wait, what?
No, this is a legit story.
Did she think like he was a
This
terrorist
needs
or
some
something?
explanation.
No, because it starts off with me and my buddy Andrew. We're working one day. It's a day shift, and we're fucking bored out of our minds. And the only thing you could really do is clean theaters at this time, and the theaters weren't breaking, so there's really like a 30-minute like gap in between. So we're sitting there just hanging out, and this frantic woman comes out, and she's not making any sense, and she's like, I saw something in the theater, I need to speak to a manager, I just need to speak to someone. I'm like, all right, and I get my radio, I'm like, manager, can you come over here please? And because first off, I'm like, I don't want to deal with this. And so he comes over and it's like, how can I help you? And she's just like, listen, I don't know how to say it, but I think there's a terrorist in the theater right now.
She deliberately called him a fucking terrorist. Jesus.
Yeah. First, and I'll tell you, it's like, all right, and this dude, and my manager at the time, he got super into it. He's like, okay, so what did he look like? Or what did he or she look like? And, she immediately goes, I'll show you. Brings the guy out, and it's this white dude with a gym bag.
What the fuck? Like honestly,
Dude, and he's like, "What the fuck is going on?" Like he's like,
I would have thought that she would have like go into like detail, say like generic stereotype, like he had a beard and a turban, like come on, like she said terrorist for crying out loud.
No, dude,
I'm sorry.
White middle-aged fat dude wearing a baseball cap, holding a tennis bag with like some tennis rackets
What was
in
he
it.
doing in a movie theater?
He was probably enjoying a movie, and then he got pulled out to this shit, and he's like, "What's going on?" And she's like, it's because of that bag. And I'm like, was it because the bag was on the ground? And she's like, well, he's got a weird watch on. I mean, that's gotta be something. And I'm like,
that's a logical reasoning. That's like, hey, Max is a terrorist because he has a hat on.
and I immediately, as soon as this happened, I'm just like, I need to go. And I just
like a
start
Taliban
walking
to me.
away. I just start walking away, and my buddy Andrew catches up to me, and he looks at me, and we just start fucking bawling. Like this is
crying,
the
it was
most
sad.
entertainment
God
I
damn,
have
Max.
gotten all day.
Did my mother like visit your theater? Or...
Oh my god, Pop. Jesus.
Well, she's pretty out there sometimes.
Does she like report people with
let's
bags
see.
because they might be terrorists?
She gets really scared of some people just based off looks sometimes.
That's not
just what I think
that's
about
not
it.
The
fat guy
other-
with a
that's-
hat.
The
being a
other
terrorist.
moment I
It's-
have from that movie is there are a lot of moments when it comes to like movie going and whatnot where couples will go and and l'amour will happen. So, and by when I say l'amour, I mean vigorous
Fuck.
blowjobbing, apparently.
Oh, but who hasn't
That's
gotten
not
that in
as
theater?
sneaky
Well,
as like a hand.
No,
job.
but what happened? No, the thing
Hasn't
is, my
gotten
problem
that.
with it is, like, you would think, like, it would happen at a
His problem
romantic
is
movie. It would happen at like a movie like that.
it like
No, True
Ted?
Grit.
Oh, okay.
True Grit.
You got to experience some of his true grit. So-
No,
Go
in my.
on. Go on.
Okay,
Oh,
so
Max
no,
with
this
the
is
puns.
it's a short one, but the reason why I'll never forget it because I remember the exact scene it took place during.
No.
It's the scene with the dude in the bear suit, the bear hat thing.
Oh,
And like he walks up on the horse and he's like, I can provide dentistry.
oh yeah, she definitely gave him some of that dentistry.
No,
And
he
like
gave
as
her
this
dentistry.
happened, I was doing a theater check and had to walk past. So I'm like just looking straight ahead, like going into the eye of the abyss. Just like, don't look, just don't fucking look, don't look.
God, true spit. Oh
True spit.
Oh man.
Oh, God.
I've been doing my best to just kind of partially look at the chat, but True Spit deserves the recognition.
Just round of applause for True Spit.
Drunken
Yes.
Dan, good work.
True spit. God damn.
Trying to think if there's any other ones that.
There is a story, Smarty. I remember from like 4 years ago. I think you talked about it. I put it.
Twisted Tales of No, never again with that one. No,
Never again with that,
That was-
one.
No, no,
that
You
is-
holding
that was
out?
a traumatic story.
You holding out
Smarty's-
on bedtime still?
Don't hold
Okay.
out,
He
Smarty.
says two
Alright.
stories so far. Maybe we should.
All right,
Alright,
so
well,
no, I'll give
we can-
I'll give this last one.
If
I'll
you
give
want
this
to come
last
back,
one.
Okay.
we'll get you out of the way.
Nelson is like Nelson apparently is like the archivist. He can find a bunch of shit
I just
that
remember.
I remember
once you said
saying.
movie theaters. Once you
So-
said movie theaters, I remembered.
This is to us in the usher department when we were all working there. We had like two different like hierarchies of the ushers. So or like three different. There was there's head usher, and then
that was
like
actually Usher, right?
no head usher, usher, and then scrub.
What?
Yeah, and Scrub was like the new person who like had no idea what they were really doing. And I was a part of like when I got hired, I was in that like Scrub territory. So I'm working this day shift and it's just a fucking brutal shift. It's one of those terrible shifts where like kids are going to the movie and they're leaving a fucking mess.
Oh.
And you like it's like when Jackass 3 came out, except it's with kids. So
Oh, no.
I remember it because movie came out. It was when How to Train Your Dragon came out.
So the kids were giving each other head. What happened?
No, stop it.
Yeah, like you make it sound like it's really
No.
fucked up. Like these
No,
kids are
I
like
mean,
jerking
like,
each other
okay.
off like in a circle
No,
jerk. or
like
something
when there's
that.
like vomit and shit all over the theater and stuff like that.
Oh.
Like that kind of disgusting.
Yeah.
And I remember it was a moment we go into this theater and I already know something's wrong because I smell this weird smell. Like I've never
Smelly
smelled it, and I'm
smell that
like I think it's like a vomit smell or like something like that. I'm like, you guys smell that? And like they're like the head usher's like, no, I don't know what you're talking about, man. And as I get up further into the theater, I'm like, yeah, something doesn't smell right here. And he goes, oh yeah, no, this should be fine. I don't smell anything. That's his actual voice, by the way.
Hank Hill up in this bitch, Jesus.
And so I get to like midway point of the theater and I see there's a pile of vomit. And I'm like, oh, that clearly is what is the mess here.
Oh Jesus.
It's not the mess.
So I go ahead and I pick up my pan and broom. Like I pick up my pan and how you pick it up is you pull up the stick on the pan and then you grab the back of the pan to pour it out. So I put my hand on the back and I feel something seriously cold.
Oh.
And I like think about it. I'm like, this is not how a pan feels. What the fuck is this? And I look down, and it's shit.
Oh.
And, like, it's all over my hand, and it's just. I looked at it and I immediately dropped all of my stuff, run to the bathroom, and just start like
Remove your
washing
hand.
like I'm like
Did
this is not gonna be clean.
did you
Never
pull like
again.
a Saul moment and just like chop your fucking hand off by
I
the
would
wrist?
I might as well
have
have.
chopped my
I
hand.
would
would've
have lit
yeah,
my
I would've
hand
I
on
would've just taken
fire.
I would have just fucking just completely hammered my hand until it was gone to the
Bathe
fucking
that
bone.
thing in acid.
Oh no, that was literally like that is
Even in acid.
that
Bathe it in
is
acid.
the like I remember it was like 30 minutes of just scrubbing and hot water.
If you think that's bad, I had to get elbow deep into a toilet just to unclog after some fat ass.
Oh,
I guess you're
Oh, no,
next,
it was
Rave.
that.
I guess
Okay.
you're next.
looks like Rave is next.
I would go, but it would take an entire night just for
I
me.
just told 3
Oh,
stories. You got
dude,
can
you
do
got
this.
the
Give
mic
us
now,
the
Rave.
Cliff Notes, the abridged version. Come on.
Hi, I'm Little Karibo. I'm gonna do the abridged.
Alright, so I used to work maintenance over at McDonald's.
Oh boy.
And so I would be graveyard shift. So every night, like the store would be closing, I'd be I'd be one of the few people working inside it, and there was some scary stuff that had happened, like outside, like drunks, like you'd have to like drag out the drunks out of the drive-through because they think that walking up still counts. So then they just pass out in the middle of the drive-through, and then it's like, okay, I gotta go out there and drag him out of there. So one time, one of them wakes up, shits himself, and then just gets up and walks away. And it's just, okay, that's one night. I also used to have to train people because the turnaround rate for people, like, they just work this shift and quit it's just like a new person every week because crew members think the job is easy because you're working at night and supposedly no one's around, and what else? The pay is slightly higher and you get to take breaks whenever you want, but
Yeah.
that's kind of like an illusion because there's only certain times you can take breaks. Otherwise, you'd be working around people at the worst possible time. So oftentimes I'd have to like take no breaks or anything.
So about the shit.
Yeah, that
Getting to it? We didn't
getting
rush
to it?
you.
that's just on like an average nights when like the little snake thing that we have doesn't work anymore, which is almost every night because
Oh, I know a snake thing you're talking about. I know what it is.
Yeah,
I had like a flimsier version of it for like brewers and shit. They got clogged up.
yeah, and like the store owner was too cheap to like get like a new and good one. Which, speaking of which, I got laid off because the store owner wanted to get his spoiled brat kid a new car. So like me, the entire maintenance team, and like 2 people for every shift lost their jobs for that.
Hey, you don't need the maintenance team, right?
Yeah. I'm not even going to go into detail how bad that place is now. Like they even call me in just to fix their Coke system. So anyways, let's see. One time I was training this one lady named Peggy, and she was like a former truck driver.
That is not my purse. I do not know you.
Fucking goddamn it.
Bobby.
How'd you fuck that up, Smarty? God damn it.
Yeah. Anyways, so she wasn't really all there in the head, but she was one of the people that took this job thinking it'd be just like we walk through the park. So I was training her on cleaning everything because you have to be super meticulous with McDonald's, especially because that's one of their biggest things.
Mm-hmm.
And like they have like almost weekly corporate visits at this one because it's one of the best in Nevada apparently, but or it used to be. So she'd just half-ass her job all the time, and she'd just give these really lame excuses like, oh, I didn't know that. Or so one time after I had left her, like this was her final day of training, so what I do is there are 2 sets of fryers, one for the potatoes and one for the meat. So I gave her the meat fryers, just to because there's like 6 vats for that and like 3 for the potato vats, but I do the 6 so they get as much practice in as possible. So after doing my fryers, like I noticed she was taking a little bit too much time on the first fryer, and turns out she forgot everything I taught her, which is just a 3-step system per vat, which is drain the oil, scrub out the vat, let it rinse and boil out the rest, and then just let it fill back up. So somehow she got in her head that all of the vats needed to be drained at once, and at the bottom there's a box that takes like 3. It can take up to 3 of the other, like 3 of the meat vats at the same time, but only 1 of the potato vats. That's just so you have 3 times, no, like, yeah, double the amount it can take, so it starts pooling across the floor, and this is boiling hot oil.
No.
And she was standing in this, in her shoes. She didn't notice anything, and they're starting to melt, and I go over to check her, and I'm just starting to freak out, because this has never happened before, and she is just going on like nothing's happening, and her shoes are half melted.
What the
So
fuck?
I had to go over there and yank her out of there and like tell her that's not how you do it. Why did you do this? And she said, "Oh, like this is faster." And I'm just losing my crap here. And it's like she's so oblivious to the oil on the ground. So I have to literally point that out. That is
Oh my
boiling
God.
hot. That is the remains of your shoes on that tile. How did
God.
you not notice?
Oh God, why?
Jesus Christ.
Oh God, Max, why?
Oh god, the playback. Oh shit.
It
But-
adds so much to the story.
Like what I'm so fucking concerned is that how does she not feel anything from the burning oil? Like if it was melting,
Oh my God.
like
That's the thing. That's the thing
Should've
that
at least
super
felt the heat
surprised me.
rising.
I knew she was slow, but that is just so. And this isn't the last time I had to deal with her either.
oh no.
Um, Yeah, I'll save most of the stories with her for different nights because I have hundreds of stories for this, but this is the only one I'm going on. So I get that mess cleaned up, and so I take her step by step through. I have to put like completely fresh oil in those vats.
Oh.
So that's like a jug of one jug will fill 2 of the meat vats. So that's each jug costs $30. So that is $90 right there she wasted. And so I go back to finish up the other 2 vats, and I was thinking, oh, what is she doing right now? I go back over there. There is solid oil all over the floors because she decided to do it again.
Did she tell you?
Oh,
Did she give you like
God.
the same fucking reason? Like, oh, this is faster again. Like,
No, she
oh my
said
god.
I needed the practice.
I need the practice. So let me just throw
my
solidified
God.
oil all over the place. Like Rafe, if I
No,
was you, I
it
would have been like,
it wasn't thrown all over the place. The machine, if she overfilled the machine again with all of the oil from each vat, and it wasn't fully melted because the vats need to heat up after you drain it again. So now it's just, oh man. So
Like,
I had
if
to take out the entire grill, clean out under it, and then put it back. And that's when I had to go to the manager and say, hey, she's not right for this job. And they say, oh, okay, we'll think about it. And it's not even a month later before she had to quit for medical reasons. And I'll get into that later.
yeah, what? Like
Alright.
her feet burning to the fucking bone.
Oh, here's the thing. She somehow came out unharmed from that.
God damn.
How the fuck? I don't understand that.
Oh my God.
And this is why you don't buy shoes from Payless for comfort, but you buy them for protection.
Turns out those shoes are actually Kevlar shoes.
Pretty much.
Anyone else got a?
Oh,
All right,
Another story?
During
do.
that story, Kenji happened to come through. So let's
Oh,
give
Kenji.
Kenji some time in the spotlight. Working at Radio Shack. You got any bad work stories?
I mean, besides like one woman coming in and. Well, there was one dude who came in, said
Alright.
that he worked at a different store, couldn't provide information, so couldn't get the employee discount. Bought one of those little RC helicopters. Asked if he could fly it inside. I said no. He
did it
takes
anyway.
it directly outside. It's a windy day. Flies it, breaks it, comes in, and then demands a refund.
what the fuck?
My response was, "Go fuck yourself."
I was like, who the fuck does that? Who just goes out, flies it right in front of the store just to break it on a windy day? Jesus Christ.
That's
Like-
me, Afix.
But Super Brave, I love you.
You had to relieve the stress after emptying all of the vats of oil onto the floor.
It's no, and he was just flying it. What fucked him up was when he thought about how this bitch did not burn her feet. And then when he started thinking about that, that's when it crashed and he came in.
Son of a bitch.
Kenji, can I get another, please?
I just want to say that's the longest Rafe has ever talked.
I love it.
It might, yeah. Hey, I'd
It
love
was
to
the
hear
longest
more.
that
This
Rafe has ever
podcast
spoken.
is gonna get Rave to come out of his shell.
I'd love to hear more.
Out of his dorktastic shell.
I did think of I had
Dog.
one story. This isn't directly mine. This is a good friend of mine's who is a
I'm
head usher,
definitely
still
saving
there.
Drew for last again because once again I've heard some of Drew's work stories.
Yes.
And fuck me.
Oh, who hasn't? But these are good.
One of my favorites was he was ripping tickets, and you get some fucking stupid people who come up to ask questions while ripping tickets. And some of my favorites in a place that has 16 theaters or stuff like, oh, where's theater 17?
The hell?
But the best fucking one was how the place is mapped out is there's two rows or like two different ways you can go. You can go, it's like, all right, the theater's down to your left around the corner or theater's down to your right around the corner. The best one was, okay, this theater is to the left. Oh, what's left?
That's not a response.
That's an actual statement
Were
made
they
by the person.
foreign? Were they?
No, they were they were full-blooded American. I witnessed it. It was
That's terrible.
what's left. And like you looked at my friend and he was just like, he had that look of just pure like, I'm so puzzled at the stupidity of your statement.
Oh my god. I honestly I wouldn't know what to say in those situations. Like I've been in certain situations like that, especially with this job. Like you'd be surprised. Like you think that like, oh, you know, being a technician fixing machines on site is not a problem. You know, you deal with some fucking crazy fucking people.
you deal with crazy people.
Like,
What-
I've
what-
dealt-
specifically like
The 7-Eleven story, Apex, is one you need to tell tonight.
the one
You mean the one when I was in New Jersey?
The one, whatever the one in the.
The one where you walked into the bathroom.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was a Dunkin' Donuts.
the one
alright.
one
So
you bring up the concept of like crazy people and whatnot, like working with crazy people or being with crazy people at a job. I worked with someone, and you guys know this, I worked with someone who has his own little YouTube archive.
All right. Well, we're not gonna.
We'll talk about that in the future.
in the
but
future. We're gonna have probably next time a section just on people like that, and that's when
that's
we'll
what I
talk
wanna
about
save
the
it
thing
for.
that happened earlier this week.
Yeah,
because-
those two are perfectly in line with each
Yeah.
other.
Yes.
I'm gonna go next just because my stuff isn't. I don't have anything like super impressive. The thing about working at I work at a grocery store, kind of like double in the chat, and you see people for such a small amount of time that usually you don't get these like long, overarching stories. But you also get just a ton of weird fucking people, like the people who come in and just buy duct tape and rope and tampons, which was fucking weird. But so this is kind of the lightning round of stories. Last week I went up to somebody and said, "Hello, sir. Welcome to our store." And he said, "Hello," and then he shushed me stared me down for a bit and then entered the store, and that was it.
He shushed you like a horse. Just shh.
No, it wasn't. No, it was like, yeah, hey, shh. And he stared at me for a bit, and he went inside. And I'm like, all right, I'll go grab more carts, I guess. There was another time a guy came in, and he was pissed off because we weren't carrying his brand of honey. Or it wasn't even honey, it was like some kind of honey barbecue sauce. And he was
okay.
But here's the thing. No, I was wrong again. It wasn't that we didn't carry the right brand, it's that we carried a size bottle, one size too small and one size too big, and he couldn't pick between the two. So he walks up to our counter where I'm bagging, and we got somebody at the cashier, and he slams the two bottles on the counter, and he's like, "What the fuck is this?"
Look at this bullshit.
And immediately, me and the cashier look at each other because we know that it's late and this stuff is just gonna start happening. And he looks at both of us. He's like, "Do you see these? You see these? This bottle's too fucking small, and this bottle's too fucking big. Where's my right size
Where's the
bottle?"
medium size?
And we're like, "I'm sorry, sir. If we carried it, it'd be where you got these." He's like, "Well, guess what? You don't fucking carry it." And then he picked up the bottle. No.
Did he throw them? Please tell me he threw them.
No, better. He left the bottles on the counter, and he's like, "See these bottles? I'm not paying for them. I'm not paying for these bottles." And we're like, "Okay, sir."
Then don't buy it.
And he picks them up, and we watch him walk down the aisle and put them back in the wrong spot, and he just looks at us, and he yells at us all the way down the aisle. He's like, "I'm not buying them. I'm not gonna buy them." And so some time passes, and he finally comes back to finish checking out. Back to our counter too. There was more counters, but he came back to ours.
He went to these specific
And-
one just
yeah.
to be a dick to you even
And
more. My
and
God.
You know the kind of like water, it's like larger than a gallon, and it's got like the nozzle so you can kind of drain
Yes,
water from
yes.
it. I don't know what
Yeah,
they're
the
called.
2.5
They're like the
gallons.
cans of what, like the jugs.
Yeah, it's like a jug that you can just get water from.
Yeah, it's like 2.5 gallons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He grabs one of these and he puts it, and it comes down the little conveyor belt, and we scan it, and it goes beep, and he's like, "Yeah, this wasn't the right fucking brand of water, but I guess I have to buy it because that's all you pieces of shit have." And like he's swearing at us, and it's like it's a
Fuck.
and I'm small. I can be confused for a child, and the person with me was like an old woman, and like, and she's
You
getting
should have been like, "Mommy, what's this man saying?"
and like no, because
Jesus Christ.
she's getting fucking pissed, but she didn't say anything the whole time. I had to do all of the talking, and we're like, "Yeah, we're really sorry, sir. We just remodeled, so we're still waiting on some stuff to come in." He's like, "Yeah, you guys fucking remodeled the store. I couldn't like come in late the last couple of days, and also here's another thing that you fuckers need to get through your head. You should make it more
God.
clear that you close at 10 o'clock on Tuesdays, because and I quote, for the past 3 weeks, I've been coming here every night at 11, and you guys have been closed because I didn't know that you guys were going to be closed when I got there. You should put,
Excuse me.
he told us we should put a big neon sign on top of the store that said, 'We're closed.' And I would have thought he was kidding if he wasn't, like, swearing at us and shaking with anger. And I looked and, like, we finished putting all of his stuff away. He's like, "Man, this place is full of fucking idiots." And we asked him if he wanted to talk to a manager. And he said, "No, I don't want to talk to your fucking stupid manager." And then I asked if he
fuck-face
wanted,
manager.
and then I asked him if he wanted his bags carried out for him, and he said, "Fuck you," and walked
Oh my
away.
God. Oh
That
my
is
God.
kind of fucking funny.
And then one other time, there was a guy. It's a lot of just angry people we deal with.
I figured
they-
that's the case. That's
I've
usually
never-
what you get
oh.
everywhere.
You'd be surprised that you do, like there's people who out there exist. There was an instance. I was up in Brooklyn by the Barclays Center, and there was a Dunkin' Donuts.
there.
There was a Dunkin' Donuts right across the street from it, and the owner is a very close friend of mine. Well, now my ex-boss. And I remember it was my last call of the day. It was just a simple motor. It was something that takes me like 5 minutes to install. Not a big deal. And I remember it was like around 5:30ish in the afternoon, and I remember this like little 6-year-old kid came in, and the thing is, he just came in by himself. Now, this wasn't the issue, but the issue was what he was starting to say to people. Now, this is Brooklyn now. Like I said, the behind the counter, it's a mix. It's a mix between African Americans and Muslims. and all that. And the thing is that this kid just starts going off on the fucking, like, the employees. When I say going off, he literally ran behind the counter and shit, and was just like, he was, oh my god, it got me pissed off because I didn't see it at first, but until he like hopped onto the counter where I was in front of the machine.
Yeah.
And the kid, like the kid that was there, the employee that was there, he was like at least like 17 or 18, and it's a black kid. And he was just telling him, like, you know, do you think you can get off the counter? You know, you can't be up there, this and that. And I shit you not, this little 6-year-old fuck was just like, oh, what the fuck you gonna do, nigga? Like, oh, yeah, fuck you, you ain't gonna do shit. Like, and I stopped, like, this stopped me immediately. I was like, holy shit. I was like, holy shit.
How do you, as a 6-year-old, actually say that shit
like,
and not get killed?
And the thing is, like, I'm looking around the store, and no one is saying anything. No one has like any decency to be like, or pull this off. And I don't see this fucking kid's parents there. So in my head, I'm like, whose kid is this? So he hops on the counter, he runs behind the counter again, and just starts like kicking and punching this kid and whatever. He's like, oh, you're not gonna do shit, nigga. Like, oh, blah, this and that. I'm like, oh my god. And I hopped off the counter. And I was just like, I'm like,
World Star.
World Star!
World Star!
I hopped up. I'm not gonna lie, at first I was thinking of like recording it and putting on World Star. I'm not gonna lie, I had this idea. But I felt bad for this boy because I was like, I've been to that store multiple times. He's a cool kid, you know, whatever. So I felt like defending. I'm like, all right. And I told the kid, I'm like, yo, you don't know what you're saying, what that means. You know, you might have heard it some, but you don't know what that really means, whatever. And this little kid tried to be smart with me. And
Yeah, but
I'm
you
gonna say
fucking
this.
suck with spinal, nigga.
Oh my god! If he said, that would have been. I would have punched the kid in the face. I don't give a shit.
Like,
But
man,
I did put my.
combos
I'm
all
not.
day.
I'm gonna say this. I hate little kids like that. I really hate little kids like that. I have no tolerance for shit like that, and I don't regret doing this. But when he started going, he's like, "Oh, what are you gonna do? You ain't gonna do shit, little fuckball, this and that." And I told him, I'm like, "Yo, don't say it to me, because if you want to talk like you're a big man, I'm gonna treat you like a man then." He's like, "Oh, what the fuck you gonna do? You ain't gonna fuck with me, blah, this and that." And he fucking like, he slaps my hip. And I'm
That's
like,
all
all
you
right,
can reach.
All
That's
I'd
all
do
you
is
can-
I would
that's all you
laugh,
can reach.
honestly. I would just laugh and be like, you're
I
fucking
didn't laugh.
kidding me.
I laughed at first, but I grabbed the kid behind his fucking neck and I dragged him out the store. I dragged him out the store. I didn't give a shit. I literally dragged him out and I threw him. And I literally told him, I'm like, try to come in the store again. That's all I told him. I'm like, try to go to the store again. I didn't give a shit. And it was kind of funny because like some of these people praised me because like when he was in there, I kind of caught this also. He was like harassing this old lady also, like touching her and shit while she was like
God.
making her order. It was just like no one is stopping him. So I'm like, yo, fuck it. I don't care if his parents aren't around. All right, he hit me. Fuck it. I'm going to throw him out. That's what I did. But oh my God, that was like one of the worst ones. But I know Max wanted me to talk about the
I
other
do have
Dunkin'
one
Donut.
more story.
I do have one more as well.
You've
which-
had a lot of turns.
No, it's a fucking. I'll wait till after. But oh my god,
no,
I just remembered.
I'll let Max
This
tell his
one's
story
pretty
first, actually.
quick. There was one time, because when you're working as a bagger in our stores, which are Publixes, we only got them like Florida, Georgia, I think. We have a couple. But basically as a bagger, you just switch to whatever counter has somebody at it, and you go get carts and shit. So I walked up to this counter where my friend was working, and I'm like, alright, I'll just bag for him, it'll be really chill. And he just looks to me with this really, like, he looked completely neutral, but he also looked like he wanted to fucking punch somebody in the face. And he said, could you please go get this gentleman right here some paper bags? And I said, sure. And I booked it to the break room and got a whole bunch of paper bags, and I brought him back. And then I bring him back, and the guy that we're trying to check out is like, well, fucking goddamn it, it's about time. What is this place run by fucking monkeys? And I like start hurriedly shoving things in the bag, and he kept telling me I wasn't doing it right for some reason. And he was like, no, you gotta put the eggs on the top. And I'm like, sir, I didn't put the eggs in yet. And I finally get all of his stuff bagged and put in. And he's like, really, I should report you guys. I'm like, it wasn't that funny, holy shit.
That's apparently the funniest shit in the world.
Alright.
Jesus Christ.
Um,
Jesus Christ,
So I
dude.
put all of his stuff in the cart, and he basically stands there for like another minute telling us that we're incompetent monkeys that can't get anything done
God.
because he had to wait for like an extra minute to get his paper bags.
No way.
And of course, this was the one time I forgot to ask him if he wanted his bags taken out for him, which I always think is just the perfect thing to ask somebody who's incredibly pissed off. And he walked away, and the person working the register took off his apron, and he walked to the break room, and he was in there for like 5 minutes. He needed a breather because he was going to kill somebody. Because apparently the guy had been shouting at him before I got there, and he's like, dude, if I stayed out here for another minute, I would have punched him right in the face.
Oh my
But
god.
it's just some of the great things you can expect when you
It's that.
work
I don't know,
out.
fucking people are nuts, dude.
Yeah,
But yeah, you can tell your story.
Okay.
Oh man.
So this was a recent one. At my job, I was just, there was really nothing to do. My boss comes over and he's like, hey, can you do me a favor? Go outside and replace the trash bags. And outside there are these 2 cans. And I've done something like this before at the movie theater, so I'm like, all right, I know what I'm doing. It'll take like 5 minutes, no problem whatsoever. So, I go outside and I start, like, on the top there's like the little ashtray thing where everyone puts their cigarettes and shit.
Yeah.
So I start dumping that out, thinking nothing really about any of this shit, so I'm like, whatever. And I hear, as I'm starting to get the bag into the cart and all that stuff, I just hear a guy from across the parking lot. I hear a guy from across the parking lot getting closer to me going, excuse me, sir! Sir!
Oh my god.
And I'm like, and he starts coming closer and he's just giving me this dead, like, crazy eye stare. Just looking straight at me. And he gets
I know
close.
how that feels.
And he's walking closer and closer. I'm like, can I help you with something? And I'm like, am I gonna get killed? But he's walking closer and closer and he just stares at me, puts his hand into the bag, and pulls out a cigar and goes, you put my cigar in the thing. And just walks away.
Oh.
Fucking walks away with this garbage ass cigar
Oh fuck.
that was like already flaked and shit. And like I'm just looking and I'm like, god damn, the hook is fucking deep, man.
Where?
Like what would have made it worse is if he went my cigar and just put it in his mouth.
Oh.
Yeah. God
fair enough.
damn.
I bet you
Toss.
that.
I do have one more quick one, real quick.
I'll go
And
after.
then it's my turn.
Yes.
And then Drew, you can tell a story.
Oh, okay, fine.
And then it'll be
Nelson
your
has-
turn, Nelson.
I have like 2 small ones after.
Yeah, we're fine. We can go on for however long. We're gonna be in here anyway.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Basically, me and my buddy Joe's like a year or 2 younger than me. It was like the last 3 people in the store and we were getting ready to close, and this guy comes up with his daughter and he's checking out and we're like putting his stuff in bags, and his daughter keeps like holding up some candy to him like really innocently, and he's like, no, you ain't getting any candy. That's my impression of him. He's black. They were black.
You
That's
ain't
not the
getting no
point.
candy.
His daughter keeps showing it to him, and he's just getting progressively angrier. And finally, she like tries to put it onto the conveyor, and he like grabs the candy violently out of her hand, and then slaps her hand like he does. Like fucking Hugo slaps. The
Fucking
hand.
Florida, man.
And he's like, stop it. And she started crying, and he like quickly threw us money and then ran out of the store with his
With
stuff.
the child?
With the child, with the stuff. It was enough to cover it, but like, damn. He booked it out of there.
Holy shit.
And then we just kind of just stared at each other for a bit, and then started closing everything up.
Oh my
'Cause
god.
what else do you do? We didn't really want
Filing
to
the
talk
police report.
Possible lead up to a murder happening right now.
There was.
in
I
front of us.
remember there was one girl like behind him in line, and we silently checked her out. She like kind of whispered thanks, but she didn't make any eye contact, and she left. And then that was it. We closed. That was the end of the day.
Oh my god.
Nice.
Oh man.
What the fuck?
But That's pretty much all I've got. So, Drew, if you're ready to lay one of yours
Well,
on
if
us.
Nelson's only got 2, I'll let Nelson
Yeah,
go because I
sure.
have a handful. Of stories.
Apex does need to tell the bathroom story though. As well. That is a strong.
We'll end
That'll
it
be
there.
the finale.
All right,
Yeah.
yeah, we'll end it on that. All right, Nelson, what do you got?
They're just 2 small ones, but back then, probably 2-3 years ago, my friend was like, "Hey man, you wanna earn like $50 like pretty quickly and
That's
such?"
very
I'm like, "What?
suspicious.
Yeah, sure." And he works like at like Starbucks, and he's like, "Hey, can you just take over my shift for like 2-3 hours?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure." So
Can you do
I get there.
that?
yeah, you can, because my friend is friends with the assistant manager,
Okay.
and
Oh,
she's
okay.
like, yeah. So I go off and do that, and within like an hour or so, there's like this old lady that comes into the Starbucks and is like, "Hey," I'm like, "Oh, hello," and people are like ordering their drinks, and this lady's just like hanging out in the back, just looking all shady. She's staring me down, and she's like, "Hello, how you doing?" And I'm like, "Hello, how are you doing?" From across the whole like end of the tables or whatever. She wasn't even sitting down. She was like standing on the chair for some reason. I have no idea why. But as I was bringing these 2 drinks towards the counter, you know, like at the back and such,
Yeah.
she charges, she bolts to the fucking counter, takes the drink, she's like, "I got the coffee!" And then just ran out and
Just fucking decks it.
yeah, she just leaves. And me and the customers were staring at each other, and we were just like, "What just happened? What just happened?"
I can't even believe you have crazy work stories from somebody else's job.
No. Like,
The fuck?
I was like, "What is going on?" But yeah,
Bless America.
at,
Who does that?
at the end of the day, me and my friend stopped, like, we were not friends anymore, but that's for another time. That'll be for next week or whenever this goes on again. But the other story is, this is pretty recent. It was like 5 months ago. My friend Sarah, she was like, "Hey, can you cover for me for like an hour or so?"
Apparently a
So
pretty
you think-
common event in Canada.
You're like,
and-
no. She's like, "Well, since you stay home and record video games all day, you have nothing better to do." I'm like, "Oh, okay."
Not nice.
Yeah, sure.
We are very busy all the time.
Busy all the time. Yeah, and I'm like, "Okay, is there going to be any like problems with your boss and stuff?" I'm like, no, he's cool with it. I'm like, should there be anything I should know of? No, it's cool. So I get to the counter and stuff. 20 minutes or so, this guy comes up to me. He's like, "Hey, Sarah, how are you doing?" I'm like, my friend
What?
Sarah's not here. And he was like, "Sarah, don't you recognize me?" I'm like,
Were you
"Sir?"
wearing her name tag?
"No, I was not. I look clearly like a boy. I am bigger than her." And he's like, "Hey, Sarah. Hey, Sarah." I'm like,
What do I do?
sir,
He's-
I
He's
am
just like,
not,
I studied her shifts. I know when she works. She should be here. You're not
I'm
Sarah.
like,
That's kind of creepy.
I'm just like,
Sounds like he's blind.
yeah, probably. But I was just like, my friend Sarah is not here today. Come back next time or take your order or whatever. And
Sarah!
he's like, okay. It was like, okay, I'll have the chocolate and I'll have the glazed dinner. I'm like, okay, will there be anything else? And he just looks at me, "Sarah, why didn't you remember the sprinkles? I always had sprinkles. You always put it on."
This
Sarah!
is-
And then he vigorously slams the fucking donuts on the floor and starts stomping on them as he's yelling, "Sarah! Sarah!"
A part of me thinks you're making this up as you go
No.
along, but another part of me thinks Canada's the crazy wonderland where that kind of shit just
No.
happens all the time.
Bless America.
That's true.
That's
It
Canada.
is like that.
I know. That's why I'm
Fucking
saying God bless America, because we live
Canada.
here and he lives over there.
Wow, that's
It's a war zone, Nelson. You can come stay with me.
My God. But
Wanna
fucking,
come live by us?
as
We'll
he's
take you
vigorously
in.
stomping the floor, he slips on the donuts. And I'm like, oh my God, what can I
If
do?
he dies, then this
Oh,
story
no.
is fake.
No, he doesn't die.
Okay.
He just looks at me on the floor. He's like, "Sarah! Sarah!"
Why
I'm
is he like saying that name? Jesus.
Staring at him like,
What
"Sir,
do I do?
that would be
What do
$5.50."
You're now
You charged him
calling
for it
Sarah,
like a real worker.
Like, or else, like, my friend would get fired. So I was like, I don't know what to do with this. I called up the manager and he was like, yeah, this happens once in a while. I'm like,
What? Shut up. That happens once in a while.
That seems like it
Welcome
happens
to
all the
Canada, boy.
time.
She knew that
Apparently-
day would be the day, and she couldn't do it that day. So she
no,
got
apparently
her
this
friend
all the time, like, because she's like your favorite customer, or like favorite worker or whatever, and I'm just like,
Yeah,
I-
there's
I-
something
gosh.
mentally wrong with that man.
stood her up, and I'm like, it's this guy. He was like
That's-
yelling Sarah towards me. I was like, oh yeah, I forgot to mention him. I'm like, fuck you. And
I would have been pissed. I'd be like, I'm not covering your shifts anymore. Fuck you.
I really like the idea of this one guy thinking that every single person that works at this donut place is named Sarah and is the same person.
Well, come on, it's
Sarah!
Like-
it's like the Nurse Joyce and Officer Jenny's.
Really? Almost exactly like that.
Is it really like that? Is it really like this?
Donut Sarah.
It should be like that in
like he's
Canada.
problems like mentally, or like from his physical, like, you know, whatever, what he looked like and such. And I was like, oh my god, she deal with this all the time.
That's
Well,
fucking terrifying.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's easier for her because I was like, hey Sarah, how's it going? And then for us, it's like, Sarah.
I would have been so pissed after a while. I'd be like, can you shut the fuck up?
Yeah.
I'm gonna listen, dude. I'm gonna need you to just listen. I don't know how to describe it. Shut the fuck up.
And
Excuse me, pardon me. Sarah. Man, headphone users are gonna hate me. Why do people always say that?
Sarah.
How many people watch these on their televisions?
Oh man, that would have been terrifying.
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
I
someone's
would
just
suck
laying
this
in
on.
bed watching this on fucking
On Netflix.
on
Eventually.
YouTube.
I
on the
can't.
YouTube app.
It's amazing that 2 years down the line, someone might watch this and they'll be angry at me 2 years in the future.
Someone's chat got hurt by that.
at the end
Actually,
of the day,
now that you mention it, though, my brother watches YouTube on the TV all the time.
Yeah. So guess what? I hope he ain't watching this. All right. So Drew, how about you give us a couple of legends from
shit.
Staples?
wait, I need to tell her what happened at the end though.
What do you more happen? No.
No. Like, I finally met up with my friend Sarah, and she gave me $20 and a pop of soda, and she was, and on the soda was like, sorry. I'm like,
$20 and a soda.
I would have laughed so hard if she just wrote on the soda Sarah. Just it. Rather than sorry.
Wait, was this the real Sarah? Is this the real Sarah? We have to make
you,
sure.
So you could drink that
Yes, this
soda
is the
with
this
a
is
lot
the
of
real
sheer
Sarah. This is the
disappointment.
real
Just making
Sarah.
sure. Never
This
know.
is my friend, and she's like, sorry. I'm like,
Did she
I
remember
fucking-
the sprinkles on your drink?
Yeah, she totally.
I would have laughed if she just puts Sarah and just so you can just have that taste of defeat as you drink that soda.
Well,
Oh, but Drew Ox got
Drink
the
it.
mic.
Drew, the stage is yours.
I don't know if you guys know this, but I've been working for a long time. I've had many jobs in many different places. My most recent job is at Staples, and we'll start with a couple
Oh,
stories
God.
from there. I do IT at Staples, and Staples is host to a lot of business people. And business people, like most people may know, don't really live in the same world that you and I live in. They live in some magical realm where everything is on their terms at all times, and the bags, the suitcases can talk. So
Hey, buy me.
I had like this guy come into the store, and all he did was look at the suitcases because he wanted like a leather case for his laptop or something. So he didn't do anything else. He wasn't on the phone. He didn't talk to anybody. He just went to the suitcases and he was like, hey, do you guys have any like leather ones? I need a more robust case for my laptop. I'm bringing it on a pretty hardcore business trip. And I was like, you bet
Sorry.
we have it. Don't you
can't
worry,
s-
friend.
You can't say that in like like that sentence without laughing. A robust
Well.
business trip.
Well, I did. So you're going to have to practice.
A hardcore business trip.
A pretty hardcore business trip this year.
Just a thought
But he's like, I'm like, yeah, they're right over here. And I bring him to the aisle and I leave him there. Nobody else was in the aisle. Just him and the leather laptop bags and luggage. So he's looking through the luggage. He comes back to me. I'm like, is everything all right? Did you find your bag? Because he looked upset. He looked like someone yelled at him or something. And he was like, I'm fine. And he fucking left. I was like, what the fuck happened in that aisle? I feel like he was there and like all of the bags just started laughing at him. and all he could think was just, oh God, not again. It's like, I gotta get out of here. I gotta get the fuck out of here. I'm so fucking done with this store. I'm never coming back. And he looked like something fucking fucked with him. I don't know what the fuck happened though, because he was sitting in that aisle doing nothing, just looking at bags. And when I said I think maybe like a bag yelled at him, to my manager, she started laughing. So
Jesus
I mean, I
Christ.
guess I might have been onto something. Maybe she knows something I don't know. But she wasn't laughing like, yeah, that's so funny. And a bag laughed at him. She was laughing like, I know something you don't know. And I just wasn't ready to figure that out, you know.
Oh my God.
And then I had a person come in, a pretty interesting character. I believe that's the term for those fucking pieces of shit. Comes into the goddamn store. He's like, I want to get a folder. You know, this is his internal monologue. I want to get a folder, but I'm gonna go down this aisle where we sell packs of folders because I'm gonna find one folder here and I'm gonna buy that folder. And that's what I'm gonna do today. And if I don't do it, I'm gonna be a liar, and I'm not a liar. All right, I promised myself this, and I'm gonna do this, even if it kills me.
Oh boy.
So he goes down this aisle and he sees the pack of folders. He's like, whoa, wait a minute. I'm not ready for this kind of commitment. I just want one folder. I didn't come here for the whole fucking load. I'm gonna open up this pack and I'm gonna get a folder out of it, and I'm gonna carry on with my perfectly planned day. And no packet of folders is going to ruin this for me, okay? So he opens it up and he gets his little folder. And he brings it to the cash register where I am. And I noticed that there was no UPC on it. So I said, this happens all the time. It looks like somebody took this out of the pack. You have to buy the whole pack. Otherwise, you can't purchase it. It doesn't have a UPC, and we're not allowed to sell it, because if we sold just one, it would ruin the entire pack. I mean, it just doesn't make sense. And when I said when it just doesn't make sense, it was like a switch went off in his brain that said, he thinks you're stupid. Prove him wrong with your superior logic.
God damn it.
I've seen that switch go off so many times, and it's the most amazing thing to me.
God damn it.
This Staples worker thinks you're retarded. He was like,
Show him otherwise.
well, excuse me, but I don't want the packet of folders. I simply want one. I said, well, we do sell them in solos, but it looks like we're out of them. So you can buy the pack, or I can order you one from online. Oh, I need it tonight. I can't be wrong. I need it tonight. I need it tonight because if I could just have you order it, then you would be right, and I can't let you be right.
How dare I?
I'm the customer. I'm always right. So he wouldn't settle for us just ordering it for him the easy way. He had to be right. So he demanded a manager. A manager did come because, it's a retail store. Managers don't have anything to do. They don't have store responsibilities or jobs. It's just, they're there to try to entertain your crazy rhetoric. So the manager comes up. They have the shortest argument in the world, I think, with a crazy customer like that, which was literally, I want to get this folder. You can't. Why? You have to buy the pack. We only sell them in a pack. Oh. And then he left. He just walked out of the store.
Okay.
He just walked right out of that store. And then the next day I come in and my manager's laughing again. She's doing that laugh that made me suspicious when I said that somebody had a bag talking to them. And she had a piece of paper in her hand. So I'm like, oh, what's this? And she's like, oh, that guy that wanted that folder contacted the president of the company with a letter. And we got a copy of it in the email because there's like an automated system for this kind of thing. And she's laughing at this letter because of what it says. So I read it, and pretty much it's just psychotic rambling about how shitty his day was or something. And there's one part at the end of it where, it feels like he summoned up every fiber of intelligence in his body to come up with rhetoric, some type of logic to explain why he deserved that one thing out of the pack, even though, he couldn't have it. And all that he was able to come up with was, I don't buy a sack of potatoes when I want to eat a French fry. And that is the last sentence of that. And then he signed it. And then he sent it to the president.
Excuse me.
That's pretty.
I don't buy
To the president.
a sack of potatoes to eat
When
a
I want
French
to eat a
fry.
French fry. That's right. That's some flawless rhetoric there if you're schizophrenic like that guy
That
was.
sounds like a name for this episode.
A sack of potatoes.
Sack of potatoes for a French fry.
A sack of potatoes is
Christ.
one French fry. For the
Oh
price
my
of one
fucking
French
God.
fry, you can afford a sack of potatoes for these starving children in Africa.
Jesus Christ.
And like those stupid commercials. Donate for the price of one cup of coffee. You can give a week's worth of food to this child that you'll never be able to check that they're actually getting the food. But they're gonna get it. We promise. We're not gonna pocket this money and buy French fries with it. That's not what we're gonna do.
A single fry.
We're gonna just buy a packet of potatoes and eat a fry.
Oh my God.
That must be the most awkward thing when you're like doing those documentaries, and it's like, oh man, look at these suffering children. All right, guys, lunch break. Who wants a sub? I'm feeling like a burger today.
Yo,
guys.
imagine they actually do that. Like I
They
honestly
do
feel
do
like,
that.
like I honestly feel like they truly do that. They don't even be subtle about it. Like they just whip out
not.
like
Why would
fucking Big Macs and shit like that, just in front of these like dying poverty kids and shit like that.
And
Oh,
I'm just like, oh, we only
Yeah,
got
fuck the
enough
kid.
food for the crew. Oh, sorry, guys.
No, that's just how it is.
Oh my god.
That's just
Sorry,
what they
guys.
do.
We're just gonna
So
have to starve and take it, you little bitches.
oh my God.
But
I don't buy a sack of potatoes when I want a
To eat-
French fry.
I couldn't.
I just want to reiterate that.
I
I
couldn't
want that on a T-shirt.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
believe my eyes when I saw that.
That is probably
Like if
My-
that is a Teespring campaign that, needs to happen.
That is like a crowning achievement in terms of dumb shit that people have said.
So, I've also had other jobs in other stores. I worked a maintenance job myself. Everybody with their maintenance jobs here. Oh, I've been a maintenance guy. I think I trump everyone else's little maintenance things though when I say that I worked as the overnight maintenance at ShopRite. So when you work at the overnight maintenance at ShopRite, you get to clean everything. You know those big cases with meat in them, and that meat's been sitting in there for a week, and it's lovely, disgusting, runny juices and blood have been leaking out. You gotta clean
I
it.
know about that.
You gotta clean that up. You gotta stick your hand in there. I mean, you got a glove on, but it doesn't really help. It's, it's kind
It's
of.
because you know it's there.
I always look at the gloves as the same idea as the catcher's pads in baseball. Like, yeah, you got your pads on, but that don't really help when you get hit with the basketball.
If you get hit in the nuts, that's not a big.
So,
That's
also-
still gonna hurt.
They clean out the butcher is they cut up the meat and everything, and all of the excess pieces of all of that wonderful work is gathered up in little vats underneath where you stand, and these vats have to be cleaned once a month. So this rotten, it's the smell of death but it's rotten meat that they're cleaning out. And
Yeah.
guess what shift they decide
Overnight.
to pump that out? The overnight
Overnight.
shift. That's right. So after you've been, waist deep in blood and guts from chickens and turkeys and hamburgers,
God.
you've got to you walk back. But this is where the thing is that where these vats are is where you clean the pieces, because you take the actual shelves apart and then you take them back to the sinks, and the sinks are in the back of where they cut up the meat, right next to the machines actually. And so they're pumping death out of the floor. And you're scraping viscera and blood and guts off of these lovely plates. But that wasn't even the worst thing I ever had to touch with my hands. You see, the most disgusting things in every ShopRite is what's underneath the things that hold all those lovely fruits and vegetables. Because you see, I get to see what's underneath those shelves, and all that's underneath there is I always called it it's Mother Nature's vomit. I always called it.
These aren't funny bad work stories. They're just bad fucking work stories.
And I've had some jobs, you see. I have funny stories at the end, but I always like to start it out with disgusting things because I had to do some terrible things to make money.
Dude.
But so the touch of these things, you have your gloves on, and you got to pick up the holders. And what was nice is they tried to give the illusion, like, oh, you don't have to touch it. It's okay. You could just rinse it off. There's a little drain at the bottom of these things. Yeah, there's a drain, all right, but there's a constant plug in that drain, and it's all that terrible Mother Nature vomit, because so you have to pick it out by hand, because they didn't have a turbo snake or anything. They didn't have the stomach for that, I guess. You just had to kind of stick your finger in there and hope for the best. And so like I'm pulling out like handfuls of this shit, and I have big hands.
Gross.
It looked like when I was cleaning these things for the first time, it was terrible. It looked like no one had touched the things in years. There's all these grates that they push when the other cleaning crews, because there's multiple cleaning crews at the ShopRite that I worked at, and they would clean the floors, and they would do all of this cleaning, and they would push all the excess into these drains to drain out the water. It's like, basically where all the shavings and stuff goes. The seafood department had a big problem.
Oh god.
You see, their little floor grates were leaking. They wouldn't let water in anymore. So guess what I got to do? I got to get a screwdriver and pull those grates up and just kind of stick my head in there.
Oh no.
See what was going on.
God.
See what was going on. So I get a big whiff of whatever the fuck was in there.
Death itself.
It's the only thing that ever smelled worse than anything I've ever smelled in that store was whatever the fuck was inside of those fat vats that they would pull out once a month.
Oh God.
That was terrible. That was the worst thing I've ever smelled in my life. And there's a truck. There's a guy that's his only job is he drives the truck that's filled with that filth.
What happens if that truck crashes and all of it spills out?
I don't want to be. It's bad enough that when
I wouldn't want
It's
to be
like
that
a
guy.
stink
when
bomb
you're the
going
guy
off.
when you're the guy that does that, when you're the guy that drives the truck, you smell like that.
Yeah,
all the
because
time.
the aroma is just there.
You
You're
smell
sitting
like
in
that.
it.
You smell like that all the time. That's a commitment.
Ew.
All right. So just ugh. But so I figure out what's in there. It was pretty interesting because it was a little bit of a challenge to clean. But somebody somewhere in the store that was cleaning was like, that's a full shrimp and a lobster claw. And what's this over here? That's guts from some type of fish. I'm just gonna put them under. I'm putting it in the grate. This won't
Ew.
backfire. Well, so
No.
the grate design is pretty interesting. There's a big open pipe that goes down to, I don't know, hell somewhere. I don't know. I don't know where the fuck it is. It goes,
It
to,
goes
the
to
abyss.
hell. That's it.
It goes
I'd
down to
put
hell
money on
or
it.
the abyss. You know, you name it. Somewhere where all of this stuff, you don't even see it anymore. There's just darkness. And above the pipe is a little filter, I guess. It's made of metal. In this, so in the seafood department, you know, all the other filters are kind of nasty on their own. But the seafood one, you couldn't even tell what metal it was anymore. It was so eroded from all the salt water and everything. The other ones were like rusty and stuff because, you know, they always have water going through them. You know, that's fine. It has its little patina. You know, you could put these as like little candle holders on your dinner table at some point when they're done, and, you know, you clean them up. But this one, it was black. There was no, there's no, it was black.
No getting past it.
Oh,
It was-
God.
I think
and it was
people
just-
people at home are waiting for the funny stories to come back.
And it had like, it had fish hooks in it and everything, and I'm trying to clean this. Oh, that was terrible.
Horrifying.
And then I was trying to clean shelves, and the shelves, I don't know who designed these shelves. I guess it was Satan.
He's the one who also designed the grate too.
Yeah, well, no, that was a man-made object. These shelves were made by Satan because, you see, they have two parts to them that are pretty important. One part slides into the shelf, and this part is used to hold the piece where you can put the like plastic barrier between the objects and the floor so that they don't slide off, basically. And there's this little piece to it which looks symmetrical. You look at it, you'd be like, yeah, that's symmetrical, that's cool, but it's not. It's off. It's off by like maybe a 16th, maybe a 24th of an inch. So if you put this thing up, if you put it in upside down, it's stuck. You know, you push it in there, it starts to go in just fine, and then it just stops, like halfway in, and you go, oh no, because that's not coming out. And so I'm pulling on this. I'm trying to get it out of there. So for some reason, you know, since it was made by Satan, he sharpened the edges of it. And so when you're pulling on this, if your hand slips, which I found out the fun way, it slices right through you like butter.
Ew.
So I'm like, I'm pulling on it, and it moves a little. I'm like, yes. So then I pull harder, and then it just, my hand moved, but it didn't, and my thumb was missing a large portion of what used to be skin. It was just replaced with blood. And now, here's the other thing. My hand wasn't.
I don't want another thing.
It wasn't in the, my hand wasn't in the air. My hand was in a big pool of sterilizing fluid. So when you have that stuff going into your blood, it's very painful.
Oh.
The good news is that the cut, no germs, didn't get infected.
Well, at least there's that.
I imagine not.
So I go. I'm like, okay, this hurts. This really fucking hurts. I'm gonna go wrap this up because it's still bleeding. And the cut was like inside. It was weird because it wasn't bleeding from the out, like when you would normally see blood, because the cut was so deep. It was like bleeding from in the thumb and then coming out. I'm like, I better put something on that so that it doesn't scar. And so I go to the first aid kit, and I open it up, and it's empty.
Oh, that sucks.
There's no pills in it. There's no gauze in it. There's no safety pins. There isn't even a note that says sorry. It's just empty.
So clearly, Satan also designed this first aid kit.
I honestly would have just left a note behind with just a smiley face.
So I was like, okay, this is a problem, because if I don't wrap this up, it's not going to heal properly, and I will need stitches. So I go to the paper towel dispenser, and I pulled out some paper towel, and I ripped it into three little pieces, and I tied one around it, and then one around that, and then one around the other one, so it was as tight as I could, and then I put that into a glove. after tying a glove around the 3 pieces, because it was really bleeding, so I had to make sure I could absorb it. So I tied a glove around that to make it nice and tight to stop some of the bleeding. Then I put a glove over that because I still had 4 hours left in my shift.
It couldn't have been like, maybe we should get you some medical help.
Nope, because there is no manager when you're on your night shift.
Oh
Nobody's
my God.
there.
So it's just
The,
you.
the night
Nobody's
manager.
there, then fuck everything.
It's basically like the whole concept of, okay, here's the list of things you can get, here's the equipment you need, and the best of luck.
What happens is there's a night manager. He leaves at 11 p.m. I come in at 10 p.m. and I stay until 6 a.m. The only other
God.
people that are there that aren't me are the people that are stocking shelves. And they're the only people that are there for the whole shift with me.
Oh
And,
God.
So there's nobody but me cleaning things. And
God.
but yeah, like
That
the worst
sucks.
the worst thing to clean was always the poultry case. That was fucking terrible. Because if it's blood, like I'm used to blood, that's fine. But I don't know what the fuck comes out of those chickens and turkeys. But it's really, really smelly, and it does not come off easily. and it's just like, oh my God, how do people eat this stuff?
Oh my God. I don't. That's so
cooked and not rotten, I would imagine.
I don't. It's just a terrible, terrible thing that comes out of those things. So when you eat it, you're definitely ingesting whatever the fuck that fluid is. Whether you cook it or not, the fluid will always be there. But then there were funny things that happened in the store.
Yeah, I'd love to hear some of those.
Yeah, we got.
Is this
That's how we ended off. First, I start with suffering, and then we get some relief with humor.
Then you get the
Funny.
palate cleanser, as he says.
If anything, that whole shit was the palate cleanser from all the funny stories.
Yeah, fuck your fun and good times. Here's the real world.
Viscera and fucking.
Just straight to the
pipes.
fucking point. Just
He's,
slap
literally-
he is the.
face.
He's got like Dead Space
If
shit.
Silent Hills came out, it would be about Drew working in Shop and Save or
I'll
whatever
tell
the
you,
hell it
Drew
was.
would be the main fucking character doing this.
Shop
too.
right.
Yes.
Fucking
You play as Drew.
If you've ever played Silent Hill and you look at like their things where they replace the walls with flesh and it
Oh,
and
God.
like it's pulsating and stuff, that's what those fat vats look like on the inside.
Oh my
It literally looks like that. Except
Ew.
That's
it's
terrifying.
like-
I want to see
it doesn't-
pictures and then regret seeing them now.
You want to
no
like just
matter-
have Nam flashbacks or some shit to it.
But like I never thought I'd ever know what death smelled like. But I do because of those fucking fat vats. It's the worst. Like I'll
And-
never ever go to a grocery store when it first opens. No matter how much you need that milk, just wait until the truck is gone. You'll know the truck is there because it's everybody within 2 miles knows better than you, and they're still at home, so you'll be the only person there. But the
So-
whole store is gonna smell like death.
But anyway, this
till they,
funny
like-
stories.
Satan, and Satan's like, all right, I'll let the smell go. or whatever.
Here we go. They're
So
coming.
I'm
Here
talking.
come the funny.
I'm
Okay,
talking
good.
to I'm talking to a guy who's stocking the shelves, and they have 2 new people because it's really hard to keep people on these stocking jobs because they're really, really physically intense. You've got to move a lot of gear and the actual product, a lot of them. And he's complaining about this guy that's not really pulling his weight, and this guy he's talking about comes up. And we stopped talking about him because we didn't want him to know that we hated him. And he says, he pulls me aside. He's like, listen, man, I don't want to make like too much of a scene, but there's a problem in the back room. So I walk back in the back, and I'm horrified at what I find. There's a machine that we have that you throw the old like fruits and vegetables into, and it turns them into a liquid, and then the liquid
It's a grinder, right?
not really like
God.
a grinder, more like it presses them, and then
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
and then it grinds them. But first it presses them to get the juices out, and then it filters all this. It's very great for the environment, very, very nice, and it doesn't smell bad either, I might add. because it's just fruits and vegetables. It doesn't smell like rotten fruits and vegetables. Don't know how that happened. But so I go back there and look at them. I look at the floor and I'm like, oh. And I go in and we have these really big squeegees that are like 4 feet long. I grab one of them and I'm like, okay, let the games begin. This motherfucker, this idiot, somehow found a way to hit the pipe that comes out of the bottom of this 500-pound machine and dislodge it. And the machine was just like, okay, I guess I'll just let all the fluids all over the floor. And like, it let the fluids go. There was a lot of fluid on the ground. Now, the good news was, it didn't smell bad. So I was happy about that, but it was a mess. It was terrible. And there was like, because of where it was, there was nowhere to put the stuff, so I had to put it in bags and then throw it into the trash compactor, which is always packed to the brim because people don't do this thing. Like, we have this big piece of wood that's next to the door. I guess people think that that's like a bar that we put over the door to keep the monster that's in there from coming into the store and killing everyone. It's not why it's there. It's there for a very specific and very important reason, because the trash compactor is a circle. So it's a big circular container that pushes the bags